So, hello everyone. Let us start with today's topic. Okay, Sarthak is welcome.
Okay, so before starting today's session, I would like to thank you everyone, for the constant support you are giving to us. Okay, on a very small notice, all our, all our students, all our learners are here on the time of 5 o'clock. Thank you everyone. And today we have a very, exciting section for you, for all of you guys. Okay, so 5 to 6 we are going to cover from very basics, all the topics which we need to cover at 6 to 7, and from 6 to 7 we are going to start with some of the numericals, some of the questions which generally asked in the uh, coding competition or in the big
Like
mncs. So guys,
the
okay,
questions that are
so
asked are from the top companies like Google, Amazon, Samsung, and etc. etc. So please be interested about that, as the questions are from the great MNCs themselves.
and I think that you all are excited. Show your excitement in the comment section, and let's start this session without wasting any further time. Thank you everyone. Let's start the session.
So let me share my screen and then start the session. ओके, तो लास्ट टाइम हमने ये क्वेश्चन डिस्कस किया था. आई थिंक ये क्वेश्चन मैंने आपको होमवर्क भी दिया था, एंड वी हैव रिसीव्ड वेरियस ऑफ द क्वेरीज रिगार्डिंग दिस क्वेश्चन कि ये हमको यूजर डेराइव्ड इनपुट से प्रिंट करवाना था. तो इसको बिल्कुल बेसिक से शुरू करते हैं. लेट मी ओपन माय वीएस कोड एंड लेट अस स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द वेरी बेसिक कि हम इस क्वेश्चन को कर कैसे सकते हैं. वेट अ मिनट. अभी एक नया फाइल बना लेते हैं आपके लिए. तब जैसे कि आई हैव इन्फॉर्म्ड यू अर्लियर कि वी हैव टू डिवाइड द क्वेश्चन इनटू सिंपलर पार्ट्स एंड वी हैव टू सॉल्व इट बाय डिवाइडिंग द क्वेश्चन इनटू सिंपलर पार्ट्स. तो सिंपलर पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करते हैं और इसको सॉल्व करते हैं. यूजिंग और हमने शुरू कर दिया क्वेश्चन को. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कि हमको करना क्या है. लेट अस सी फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग कि हमको करना क्या है, व्हाट वी नीड टू डू. So we have to print this pattern from the user derived input. The user derived input, if user has entered 10 numbers, so I have to print 10 dot or 10 stars. तो सबसे पहले तो हमको user input लेना है about how many stars to print. ठीक है. So first of all we will take the user input. I will define an integer n and I will ask the user to input the number n. Okay. तो ये हमारा सबसे बेसिक काम हो गया. आफ्टर दैट, ये अब तो हमारे इतना बेसिक काम तो हो गया है. नाउ व्हाट वी नीड टू डू. ओके. अब हमको क्या करना है, अब हमको 3 रोज प्रिंट करने हैं बिकॉज 3 रोज आर कॉन्स्टेंट. मेरे को 3 रोज प्रिंट करनी है, तो आई विल यूज अ फोर लूप फॉर दैट. अब मैंने फोर लूप बना दिया. फॉर इंट आई इज इक्वल टू 1 एंड आई इज लेस देन 3, आई इज लेस देन इक्वल टू 3 एंड आई प्लस प्लस. अब मैंने एक बेसिक सा फॉर लूप बना दिया विच विल प्रिंटिंग 3 रोज. और इसको हम करने के लिए एक बार वेरीफाई कर लेते हैं कि इज इट प्रिंटिंग 3 रोज. तो अब हमने बिल्कुल बेसिक एक क्वेश्चन करा है. आई and let us wait for it to compile. और अभी हमने बिल्कुल बेसिक सा काम किया. वी हैव प्रिंटेड ओनली 3 ऑफ द डिफरेंट रोज. हमने 3 रोज के अलावा और कुछ भी नहीं किया. कंपाइलिंग and after compiling let me run it and I am entering 4 but it is only printing 3 of the stars क्योंकि हमने 3 rows ही print करवानी है and it is not giving any of the space, so I will print an handle also. See out dl handle, I will print handle. तो अब 3 stars print हो जाएंगे, so it is printing 3 rows. तो जो हमारा सबसे बेसिक काम था that was printing 3 rows. तो हमारा सबसे बेसिक काम अचीव हो चुका है कि हमको 3 rows print करनी थी. About how many input, if I am giving even 6 input or 7 input or 10 input, it is only printing 3 of the different rows. So this is 3 rows print कर दी. So what we have achieved this part. तो ये 3 rows हमारी print हो गई हैं. तो अब इन 3 rows को छोड़ देते हैं. Now if user is entering 5 numbers, so we 6 numbers. Let us see if user is entering 6 numbers. We want the 6 columns to be printed. अब मैं 6 columns print करता हूँ as per the user demand. तो अब इसको कॉलम्स को प्रिंट करने के लिए आई विल यूज एन नेस्टेड फॉर लूप फॉर इंट j इक्वल टू 1 एंड j इज लेस देन इक्वल टू n एंड j प्लस प्लस. तो अब ये j प्रिंट करने से क्या हुआ, मेरा नेस्टेड फॉर लूप बन गया. अब ये मेरा नेस्टेड फॉर लूप बन गया. तो व्हाट इट विल डू, अब ये मेरी जितनी भी रोज और कॉलम की एक मैट्रिक्स प्रिंट करेगा एंड लेट अस सी ये रोज और कॉलम की मैट्रिक्स प्रिंट कर रहा है कि नहीं. और अगर किसी को रोज कॉलम की मैट्रिक्स प्रिंट करवाने में इफ समवन इज फेसिंग एनी इश्यूज, तो अपना कमेंट सेक्शन में डाउट डाल दो. देन वी विल सी दैट आल्सो. And I am entering 5, so it is printing 3 by 5 matrix. If I am entering some other input, if I am entering 6, so it is printing 3 by 6 matrix. And if I am entering 7, it is printing 3 by 7 matrix. तो अभी हमने ये मैट्रिक्स प्रिंट करवाया. आई थिंक मैट्रिक्स thing is clear with everyone. Anyone is facing any issues regarding printing the matrix of 3 by the numbers provided by the user? If someone has any issues, please comment that, or else please comment that you have no issues regarding that. No. Okay, okay, all clear, that's it. अब हमको क्या करना है, अब हमको ये प्रिंट करवाना है. अब हम फर्स्ट रो से देखते हैं कि हमको फर्स्ट रो में क्या प्रिंट करवाना है. ओके. तो अभी मैं क्या करता हूँ, अभी मैंने ना यहाँ पे ना स्टार प्रिंट करवाया था, तो स्टार की जगह मैं स्पेस दे देता हूँ. ठीक है। अब मेरे को क्या करना है कि व्हेन इट इज माय फर्स्ट रो, अब ये मेरी रो 1 है, r इज इक्वल टू 1। अब मेरी रो 1 में देखते हैं, अब मेरे को कहाँ कहाँ पे प्रिंट करवाना है। मेरे को थर्ड वैल्यू पे प्रिंट करवाना है, मेरे को सेवंथ वैल्यू पे प्रिंट करवाना है, देन आफ्टर मेरे को 11th वैल्यू पे, ये तो मेरी 10th है तो 11th वैल्यू पे प्रिंट करवाना है। तो ऐसे ऐसे मेरी जाता रहेगा। अब लेट अस डिराइव अ लॉजिक। ये मेरा थर्ड कॉलम एंड फर्स्ट रो, तो 3 प्लस 1 कितना होगा मेरा, दैट विल बी 4। अब ये मेरा 7 है, सेवंथ कॉलम एंड फर्स्ट रो, तो 7 प्लस 1 मेरा कितना होगा, 8। अब ये मेरा 11th कॉलम पे आएगा, 11th कॉलम प्लस फर्स्ट रो, बट इट विल बी 12। तो 12, अब ये मेरा 12 आ गया। अब एक पैटर्न दिख रहा होगा दैट इट इज द मल्टीपल ऑफ 4 विच इज प्रिंटिंग 4, 8 एंड 12। तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम एक सिंपल सी एक कंडीशन लगाएंगे। अब हमारी वो सिंपल सी कंडीशन ही हमारा इसको सॉल्व कर देगी। लेट अस प्रिंट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इफ I is equal to 1 and आई एम यूजिंग बिकॉज हमको दोनों कंडीशन इकट्ठी चेक करनी है कि ये फर्स्ट रो होनी चाहिए एंड दिस शुड बी ट्रू, दिस शुड बी ट्रू। तो एंड इसलिए हमने लगाया एंड आई प्लस जे मोडुलो 4 शुड बी 0। अब आई प्लस जे मोडुलो 4 मतलब मुझे पता चल जाएगा कि इट इज द मल्टीपल ऑफ 4। अगर ऐसा है तो व्हाट आई विल डू, सी आउट, आई विल प्रिंट अ स्टार, एल्स आई विल प्रिंट स्पेस। ये तो मेरा फर्स्ट रो के लिए हो गया। दिस इज माय फर्स्ट रो। अब मेरी फर्स्ट रो पूरी क्लियर हो गई है। ठीक है, अब अपनी हम सेकंड रो के लिए देखते हैं। तो लेट अस सी फॉर सेकंड रो। अब मेरी रो इज इक्वल टू 2। अब फर्स्ट रो को भूल जाओ, लेट मी आल्सो इरेज इट एज वेल। अब हम देखते हैं, अब हमको क्या करना था, इधर मेरे को प्रिंट करना था, इधर प्रिंट करना था, फिर इधर करना था, देन हेयर, देन हेयर, देन हेयर, देन हेयर। लेट मी सी, अब यहीं तक देखते हैं। अब मेरी रो थी सेकंड, नाउ सेकंड रो। अब सेकंड रो के अंदर जो मेरा कॉलम है दैट इज सेकंड कॉलम। ठीक है, अब दोबारा से पैटर्न ऑब्जर्व करते हैं। नाउ इट इज फोर्थ कॉलम, नाउ दिस वन इज सिक्स्थ कॉलम एंड दिस वन इज एट्थ कॉलम। तो अब जो मेरा ये आ रहा है दैट इज द मल्टीपल ऑफ 2। अब जो मेरी दिस लाइन, इस लाइन में मेरे मल्टीपल ऑफ 2 आ रहे हैं। तो अब मैं क्या करूंगा, आई विल यूज अनदर स्टेटमेंट टू चेक इफ देयर इज मल्टीपल ऑफ 2 एंड व्हेन देयर इज मल्टीपल ऑफ 2 आई विल प्रिंट स्टार। तो अब मैंने इसके अंदर एक कंडीशन और दे दी। इसके अंदर अब आपको एल्स इफ का आई थिंक सबको आइडिया होगा, एल्स इफ इज डॉट इन योर क्लास एज वेल। तो आई एम यूजिंग एल्स इफ, इफ मेरा आई इज इक्वल टू 2 एंड जे मोडुलो एंड जे मोडुलो 2 इज इक्वल टू 0। तो हमने अभी कंडीशन डिस्कस की, इफ आई इक्वल टू 2 एंड जे मोडुलो 2 इज 0, देन आई एम प्रिंटिंग स्टार हेयर। अब थर्ड रो पे आता है। नाउ लेट्स कम टू थर्ड रो। थर्ड रो के लिए मैं लेट मी यूज अनदर पेन। तो मेरी ये थर्ड रो है, वी आर कंसिडरिंग दिस। इसमें मैं एक और लगा देता हूँ ताकि हमको एक पैटर्न मिल जाए फिर से। अब फिर से हम आते हैं, तो दिस इज फर्स्ट कॉलम। ठीक है, दिस इज फर्स्ट कॉलम, दिस इज फिफ्थ कॉलम, दिस इज नाइन्थ कॉलम। अब हमको फर्स्ट फिफ्थ नाइन्थ में तो कोई हमको पैटर्न दिख नहीं रहा है, तो विल ट्राई समथिंग डिफरेंट। 1 प्लस 3 फिर से क्या होगा, दैट इज 4। 5 प्लस 3 फिर से हमारा क्या होगा, 8। एंड 9 प्लस 3, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर, इट इज 12। तो फिर से मल्टीपल ऑफ 4 बन गया। दिस इज 4, दिस इज 8, दिस इज 12, नेक्स्ट विल बी एट 16। तो वी आर अगेन गेटिंग मल्टीपल ऑफ 4। तो अब हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे मल्टीपल ऑफ 4 के लिए हम फिर से कर देंगे। लेट मी कॉपी स्टेटमेंट है। L, मैंने क्या किया, if I is equal to 3 and I plus j modulo 4 equal to 0, then I am printing star, else I am printing string. अब इसको रन करके देखते हैं. C plus plus 001 pattern.cpp and I am running it. If I am entering 10, so it is printing a pattern like this. It is printing 10 stars as you can see. And if I am printing 5 only, so it is printing 5 stars only. So the my pattern is achieved as per the user input. If I am even entering 17, so it will print 17 stars. So our pattern is achieved in this way. So we have to first of all split the problem, and after splitting the problem, we have to solve it by a simple method. So this is how your problem can be resolved easily. Any doubts about the pattern question as of now? We can also use any of the input like 16 as well. So a star less will be printed. So this is how the things are happening behind the concept. And this question was asked in some of the top coding competitions by Google. So ये बहुत अच्छा question है, and this is a very great level of question. So the whole code one. Okay. I am showing the whole code one. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is the whole code. I think the code will be visible. Sarthak or Divisam, can any one of you confirm that if the code is clearly visible?
Yes, I think it is visible, guys.
Okay. So please feel free to ask any of the questions about the code if you have. And this is a great coding question, and it is a great pattern question which is asked by top of the company. So take your time and ask your queries if you have any. And try to divide the logic into simpler parts rather than accepting the complete program at once. So it will be great. It will be great if you divide the code into simpler parts rather than trying to achieve the whole functionality at once.
And I think all the and I think all the code will be, you will get on the GitHub very soon.
Yes, the
Okay.
code you will get on GitHub.
You will get all the codes on the GitHub. Second thing is that tomorrow is Sunday, and till tomorrow you will get all the notes, all the PPTs plus coding questions what we have given to you. Then you can practice and utilize your Sunday for this. Okay.
Guys, if you have any of the queries regarding the question or any of the assignment questions that were given to you, feel free to ask your queries about the question. And yes, we will share the code links on WhatsApp so you can access the code over GitHub and you can access them. So all the links will be shared on your respective WhatsApp and Telegram group. So any questions about this question, or we should proceed to further topic for today?
I think Shitish, we can proceed with
Okay.
that.
Okay. So now from here, I would like to invite Divyasom to start the Bitwise operator today. Bitwise operator plays a major role in your programming, and is there any another way to solve it? There will be many ways to solve a single question. There is not a single way to solve a question. So there can be many ways. You can look for other ways as well, but this is the way that I decoded myself. So you can see for other ways as well. There is no issue in doing the question with another way.
I think we have the Bisom with us. So let's start with
Yes,
the
we have the
Bitwise
Am
operator,
I
guys.
audible?
Okay. Yes, you are audible, Dibbe.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So let's start with the bitwise operator, and guys, stay till the end today because after few minutes, after completing few topics, we have again I am saying to you we have certain coding competition which will help you out. Okay, which will fulfill the vision why we have created this boot camp. Okay, so stay till the end. The Visum, can you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm
And
sharing my
okay.
screens.
Till then, Divyaswamy is sharing their screen. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. We are happy to help you out. Okay.
I hope my
Okay,
screen
now
is
the screen
visible.
is visible.
Yes,
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 yes.
now screen is visible. You can continue now.
Okay, guys. So before I start Bitwise Operator, if you have any doubts regarding OOPS or any concept, then ping in the chat, or let's start with Bitwise Operator straight away.
Okay. I think no doubts is there, so we can start with that.
Okay. So for Bitwise Operators, so, let's see. Okay, I have not yet merged it with the PPT, so I'll try to do it with the photograph. Is this visible to you? Is this photograph visible to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Divya, the photographs are clearly visible.
Okay, cool. So you can see, sorry about my bad handwriting. So guys, as you can see here, um, this you already know that the when I write size of, it gives us the size. So just imagine in size of I put integer, and we know that integer is of 4 bytes, and we also know that 1 byte is 8 bits. So that makes sense, right? 4 bytes is equal to 38 bits. Can we call, okay, that is a doubt of object-oriented programming. Can we call constructor of parent class inside the child class? Okay, so let me just quickly give you, clear that doubt. And yesterday, as we discussed this code, you can see this was our child class, right? This was the syntax of creating a child class. Class Netflix India inherits Netflix core. So this is the child class. This is the parent class, and you can see inside the construct. Now we are inside the child class, and you can see inside child class we created a constructor which is for the child class itself, as you can see, Netflix India, and then by using, let me hide this prompt. Now by using this colon operator from within the child class, I'm calling the parent class constructor, Netflix core. So, and I also call its, the parameterized constructor. And the way to do that is within the child class constructor, just take all the arguments that you need. Out of that, only this argument is being used to initialize this attribute, some attribute, the name of the attribute. And after initializing that, because this belongs to the child class only, this attribute is not present in the parent class. So I initialize it right here, and all of these values, जो मुझे बाकी का मैंने लिया था, content, location, and policies, I directly passed it to the parent class constructor. So this is how you call the parent class constructor from within child class. Okay, I guess that clears your uh, doubt. I mean, I guess that answers your question. And yeah, Umang, it is within the class. This is the child class. As you can see, this is the child class Netflix India, and within that, I have called the parent class constructor, which is right here. This is the parent class. Parent class Netflix Co. This is child class Netflix India. Cool. So let's start with bitwise operators. And guys, bitwise operators till date, whatever we do, we check odd, even. We use different kinds of methods to divide, multiply, and uh, not all the operations, but many operations are going to be very optimized, very fast if we use bitwise operators. This is a next level optimization, like the best optimization that you can use in your codes to execute faster, very uh, bits and bits of your code. So guys, what we are doing here is basically we already know that size of operator gives us the size of the data type. So this is just for reference. We have let's imagine that we are measuring the size of integer. It is 4 bytes, and that is 32 bits. And we discussed in the first class that out of all the bits that are available, the leftmost bit, or also called the MSB, the most significant bit, is reserved for sign. So if that bit is 0, it means the number is positive. If that bit is 1, it means the number is negative. So normally that bit is reserved. We cannot use it. And that is the reason why we only have 31 usable bits. And when we have 31 usable bits, what does that mean? The largest number that we can reach is 2 raised to the power 31, right? Because we have only 2 raised to because we only have 31 bits, and every bit can be either 0 or 1. We know that. So there are only two options, and that is why the highest number that we can store with 31 bits is 2 raised to the 31. And we discussed this, very back when we were discussing data types. So what we're going to do is we have learned about data modifiers. We will use unsigned int for today. And when we use unsigned int, it will give us the access to all 32 bits, because unsigned bits specifically tells the compiler that this variable, whatever we declare as unsigned int, cannot store any negative integer. So the range is now reduced from 0 to 2 raised to the 32, because now we can use the entire 32 bits. So this was, just a prerequisite knowledge that why I'm using unsigned int. Now let's start with bitwise operators. And before that, any doubts still here why we are using unsigned int today instead of simple integer? Okay, I guess there are no doubts. And okay, no doubts here. So let's proceed with unsigned int and let's code that. Okay, so basics.cpp first of all. And is my code visible, right? Or do I need to zoom in more? Okay, I guess it's clear. So using namespace std, and I have a main function. Right. So, guys, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'll use typedef today. I'll use typedef because today all the operations that we will do using bitwise, I want to demonstrate that using unsigned int, and I will need a lot of variables. And every time I don't want to write, for example, if I want to declare a variable, I don't want to write unsigned int a every single time. The reason being I'm lazy. So what I'm going to do, okay, what's the pattern? A, SIG, and okay. The reason being I'm lazy. I don't want to write this entire data type every time I need to declare a variable. So what I'm going to do is I will use typedef and I'll say typedef unsigned int as qbyte. Basically, for this entire big name, I'm using a nickname. Whenever I write qbyte, it will automatically tell the compiler that this is an unsigned int type data. So I'll say qbyte a. And qbyte a, and the reason I'm naming it qbyte is this is some nickname I, for no reason, took. It means quad byte, that is 4 bytes, and that is integer. And what I'm going to do is I'll declare 3 simple variables, int a, b, and c. Not c, let's name it res. And guys, what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's understand one of the first bitwise operators. So let me quickly jump here. And okay, so we already know that this is how a number is stored in a computer when you declare it as an integer. So basically an integer, since we have already declared it unsigned, so we have 32 bits, 32 usable bits. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dot, 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 30, 31, 32. So we have 32 bits available with us. And if here on the first bit, on the rightmost bit, if I put 1, it means we have already done this as an exercise, right? If I put 1 here, then this power of 2 needs to be added. If I put 0, then we don't need to consider it. If I put 1 again, then I need to consider this. So we are already familiar with this, right? If I write this number, if this is my binary number 101, for now, just forget about all the zeros, preceding zeros. Just look at this 101. If I write 101, we know that its decimal equivalent is 4 plus 0 plus 1, because here is a 1, so I need to consider this value and add it. So 2 raised to the power 0 is 1, so here is a 1. Then here's a 0, so I don't need to consider this. Then here is a 1, so I need to consider 2 raised to the power 4. So that's why 4 plus 0 plus 1, that gives us 5. Okay, so Mansi is asking, using AND, I mean a single ampersand and a double ampersand gives the same output. No, Mansi, the single ampersand means it's bitwise and double ampersand means a logical AND. So these are different operator. Double is logical operator, single means a bitwise operator. And today we are going to learn what is the reason of using this bitwise operators and how to utilize it to optimize your code. So basically, this is just the above table here is just a quick reference to quickly convert this number into bitwise into its decimal equivalent. So similarly, here is another example. The number is 11010. 1 1 0 1 0, and you can clearly see I've used the same concept. 2 raised to power 4 को मैंने पे ऐड करा 16, नेक्स्ट भी 1 है सो 8 को मैंने ऐड करा, यहाँ पे 0 है सो आई डोंट नीड टू ऐड दिस एंड 1 0, right? And what I'm going to do now is, guys, if I say, let me ping it in the chat. If I write, let's consider 1010. Can you guys quickly tell me what 1010's decimal equivalent is? I've written the binary representation in the chat. Can you quickly tell me what is its decimal equivalent? 10, cool, exactly. Now that's going to be 10 because only 2 raised to power 1 and 2 raised to power 3 are going to be considered. So 2 raised to power 1 is 2 plus 8, that is 10. Cool. So I guess everyone is clear with decimal and binary. Now the reason यहाँ पे पीछे preceding zeros हैं because the size of an integer is 32, but हमारा नंबर तो पहले की 3 बिट्स में ही फिट हो गया, राइट? जैसे 5 तो इतने में फिट हो गया, 101 ही चाहिए 5 रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए बाइनरी. Now कंप्यूटर ने ऑलरेडी, सिंस दिस इज एन इंटीजर डेटा टाइप, कंप्यूटर ने ऑलरेडी इसे 4 बाइट्स की मेमोरी एलोकेट करके रखी है. नाउ इट कैन नॉट स्क्वीज दैट साइज जस्ट बिकॉज वैल्यू छोटी है, नेक्स्ट टाइम कोई बड़ी वैल्यू आ सकती है, सो इट नीड्स टू रिजर्व दैट एंटायर स्पेस. सो टू रिजर्व दैट एंटायर स्पेस वो उससे पहले जीरोस फिल कर देता है, क्योंकि जीरो से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगी, राइट? जीरो से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, सो लेफ्ट साइड जीरो से फिल्ड रहता है, the rightmost section represents a number. Similarly here we have 11010 and this is taking like 5 bits 01011. 5 bits में हमारा नंबर सेव हो गया, इससे पहले के बाकी के 27 bits these are zeros, so there are 27 zeros and बाकी 5 bits is storing a number. So that is how a number is stored inside a computer in binary representation. It is actually stored like this in binary representation, right? So let's start our first bitwise operator, bitwise and it is represented by this symbol ampersand. So here is an example that I took, 101 and the second number was 26. ठीक है, दो नंबर है, अब मैंने दोनों को एंड करा. नाउ एंड ऑपरेटर की एक रिक्वायरमेंट है, व्हेन वी यूज अ सिंपल लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर, राइट? just let me give you a quick example. In if we were using simple logical operator, so what if I had written 5 and 26? कोई इनको बता सकते हैं इसका आउटपुट क्या होता है? ये सिंपल लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर है, we have already discussed it, isn't it? By the time you answer, let me compile that code and keep it ready for execution. So I'm going to say, see, we have to code is plus basics.cpp. Oh guys, 1. Exactly, it is going to be 1. So let's verify that, and it is 1. And the reason is कि लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर को फर्क नहीं पड़ता साइड में कौन सी नंबर्स इनपुट मिल रही है, उसको बस इतना देखना है कि इज दिस नंबर अ 0 और अ 1 और अ नॉन जीरो नंबर. अगर मैं 0 कर देता हूँ, अगर मैं इन दोनों नंबर्स को 0 कर देता हूँ and if I execute it again, and you're going to see that now it is a 0, because logical and only make sure कि इसको जो दोनों numbers input मिल रहे हैं, the suffix and the prefix, they should not be 0. And if they are any non-zero number, even if they are negative numbers, it doesn't care, it will just output as a 1. So that is logical operator. And also ये logical operator की use नहीं है, यहाँ पे हम conditions लिखते हैं, right? For example 5 greater than 6, and यहाँ पे मैं लिखूँगा something like 7 less than 7 is less than 10, and also this is also less than, and some conditions. We use conditions like this for utilizing the logical operator. एंड तब ये 1 ट्रू करता है, बिकॉज ये बस इन दोनों साइड्स को इवेल्युएट करता है एंड उसकी वैल्यू को चेक करता है. अगर दोनों की दोनों वैल्यूज करेक्ट है, देन इट गिव्स अस अ 1 और अ 0, एंड दैट इज लॉजिकल एंड ऑपरेशन. टुडे लेट्स गो टू बिटवाइज एंड. बिटवाइज एंड क्या करता है? ये बिट लेवल पे कंपेयर करता है, ये सिर्फ उनको इवेल्युएट करके 1 और 0 की चेक नहीं करता. इट converts that number into a bitwise representation like this. I mean, it is already converted. It compares in the bit level. So what it does is, for example, अगर मैं use करता हूँ कुछ ऐसे 5 and 26, then it is going to compare them side by side at a bit level. So this is how it is going to compare them. Just imagine, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है this upper row and that row right below it. So this is how it will compare. It will compare the first bit here, it is 1. The rightmost bit of 5 is 1. The rightmost bit of 26 is 0. So it will compare. Are both of these bits same? They are not. So it is going to give me a 0. Then it will compare the next bit, 0 and 1. They are not same, so 0. Similarly, none of the first 5 bits are same. So all the bits will be 0. उसके बाद यहाँ पे 0 0 है, so 0 and 0 वैसे भी 0 मतलब false ही होगा. Now bitwise AND कब true return करता है? It is what it does is, जैसे लॉजिकल एंड क्या करता है, वो पूरे इवेल्युएशंस को कंप्लीट करेगा एंड देन अगर दोनों साइड ट्रू है देन इट विल गिव अ ट्रू. बिटवाइज एंड वही सेम चीज करता है बट बिट लेवल पे. इट विल कंपेयर द करस्पॉन्डिंग बिट्स. अगर दोनों की दोनों बिट्स सेट हैं, set means if both the bits are set, that means if both the bits are true or if both the bits are 1, only then it will make it 1. So since here both the bits are not true, one is 0 and one is 1, so hence 0 false. Similarly कहीं पे भी इस पूरे 5 and 26 में कोई भी दो bits का AND operation 1 नहीं आने वाला, right? And that is the reason output is 0. So let's quickly verify that here. Let's verify that in the code. What I'll do now is I'll say A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 26. That was our 26. That was our example. And मैं अब print करूँगा C out and I'll say C out. Okay. A and ठीक है, bitwise and B. So I'm just printing it out this way so that it looks informative, not just a blank value. जिसका कोई sense नहीं बनेगा. So what I'm going to do here is A and B is equal to, now in here res में value store करते हैं. Res is equal to A and B. So this is where we applied the bitwise operation and I stored the result in res. Res means the result. So here I'm going to print out res. Okay. And I hope we are all on the same page till here. If I now execute the code, you can see that the output is going to be 0. 5 and 26 is equal to 0. So I guess here everyone is, yeah, Mansi, 1 and 1 is equal to 1. Kalash, profession, class, among, acha, okay, don't use it. Okay, I thought that's a doubt. So guys, what I'm going to do now is 5 and let's think where I can get a non-zero number. 101 and let's say 7. Okay, so quickly ping in the chat what is going to be the answer of 5 and 7. 5 bitwise 7. Bitwise and 7. So by the time you do that, I will write a quick function so that I don't have to write this entire operation a lot of time. Okay, so are there any answers already? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, let's test it out and just ignore this. This is so that मुझे बार बार C out ऐसे लिखना ना पड़े. अब मैं क्या करूँगा? I'll just say display. I'll pass the values A, B and the result and operation जो मुझे print करनी है. Simple function है बस, so that I don't have to write C out a lot of times because आज हम काफी सारे operations का check करने वाले हैं ऐसे print करके. So right now I have 5 and 7. Let's quickly test the answer. So, okay, and let's see. 5 and 7 is equal to 5. That's correct. 5 is the answer. So I guess bitwise AND सबको clear है. is anyone facing any doubt regarding bitwise and, or let's move on to the next bitwise operator? Okay, Manish is saying zero. Manish, why would it be zero? Because you know, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Let explain with this example. When we have 7, so this first 3 bits will be 1. This will be 1. This will be 1, and this will be 1 as well. And अब क्या होगा? 5 में यहाँ पे एक 0 है and 7 में यहाँ पे 1 है. So this bit will be 0, and यहाँ पे 1 है and यहाँ पे 1 है. So ये दोनों bits 1 हो जाएंगे. So that's why 5 and 7 is going to give us a result of 5. So I hope bitwise and is clear to everyone. And next, now let's move on to the next operator, that is bitwise on. So I'll put comment here, bitwise and. Cool. So now let's move on to bitwise or. Now for bitwise or, let me open the next program. Bitwise or. Okay. So you can see now it's the similar picture, but we have a bitwise or, and bitwise or में सिर्फ एक difference है. A qubit is a data type. Vishal, qubit is just a type def or a nickname that I've given to unsigned int. So I'm basically don't want to write that entire variable name data type every time I want to define an unsigned int. So I've written qubit here, type def unsigned int qubit. It basically means an unsigned integer. And okay, so this is guys bitwise or, and bitwise if you are we are already clear with bitwise and bitwise and जो करता है basically bit level पे compare करता है, and if both the bits are not set, not true, then it gives 0, else it gives 1. Bitwise or क्या करता है? This is bitwise or, this is the symbol, a vertical bar, and guys it gives us a set bit, it gives us 1 when both the bits that it is comparing are either of the bits are 1. So अगर एक भी 1 मिल जाए इसको, जैसे 1 and 0, इसमें एक 1 है, so the output will be 1. 0 and 1, इसमें एक 1 है, so output will be 1. Similarly, there is at least 1 in all the comparisons. 0 and 1, यहाँ पे एक 1 है, 0 and 1, यहाँ पे एक 1 है, and hence bitwise or is giving us all set bits. एंड उससे पहले की तो ये तो 0 होंगी, बिकॉज 0 और 0 is also going to give a 0, because bitwise or को एटलीस्ट एक 1 चाहिए. It needs just one set bit to give us an output of a set bit or a 1, and that is why the name is or. जैसे आप बोलते हो ना, for example, let's think of an example. Okay, so and a proper example for this will be, let's say you are going out of your house, and you want to go out of your house only if only if there are two conditions. If the weather is good, or some friends calls you, or some friends call come to your place and they ask you out. So there are two options, जिस इन दोनों में से कोई एक भी चीज हो जाए तो आप घूमने चले जाओगे, अगर मौसम अच्छा है, या फिर अगर आपका कोई दोस्त आ जाता है जो आपको बाहर बुला रहा है. अगर दोनों में से कोई एक भी चीज हो गया, then आप बाहर खेलने चले जाओगे, घूमने चले जाओगे. एंड दिस इज एन और ऑपरेशन. इस चीज को और बोल सकते हैं, राइट? दोनों में से कुछ एक हो जाएगा, then you will go out. So that is an example of or. और अगर मैं and explain करूँ, and is like similar example लेते हैं. आपको घर से बाहर जाना है, and you will go out only if you are not sleeping and the weather is good. Both of these conditions have to be true together so that आप घर से बाहर निकल सको. आप सो नहीं रहे हो and आपका बाहर मौसम अच्छा होना चाहिए. अगर ये दोनों की दोनों कंडीशन ट्रू है, then only you will go outside. Yeah. So I guess just like set relation, one true statement, then all true. Just like set relation, one true statement, then all true. Yeah, okay, you can think about it like that. And that is an example of bitwise or. So let's quickly verify that in the code. I have bitwise or comment already written here. So what I'm going to do is res a or b, and I displayed that using this same function again. and यहाँ पे मैं और यूज करूँगा, ठीक है? So इस लाइन पे मैंने bitwise और अप्लाई कर दिया. And let's make v26 again so that we have the same example that we have just discussed, 5 and 26, 5 or 26. So if I use 5 or 26, my output is going to be similar, 31. And a quick question for you guys again. Now I'm using 5 or 7. So can you guys quickly ping in the chat what is going to be the answer of 5 or 7, bitwise or? 7. Yeah, okay guys. 7 is the correct answer for this. So 5 or 7 is going to give us 5 or 7 is going to give us 7, because 7 pe all these 3 bits would be set. So 1 and 1 is of course 1. 0 and 1, 0 और 1 वो भी हमें 1 देगा because bitwise और है, so इसको सिर्फ एक 1 चाहिए and ये भी 1 हो जाएगा, and that is the reason why 5 or 7 is going to be 7. And you can practice lot more examples. This is just the basics that is needed to understand bitwise or. अब इसमें एक last है bitwise XOR, not the last but the last of the basics, bitwise XOR. Now this is OR and this is AND. मैं अभी यहीं पे explanation डाल देता हूँ. Both bits should be set for the condition to give you 1. यहाँ पे होना चाहिए OR का. This is just a quick recap. Either of the bits should be set. Okay. And here comes bitwise XOR. Bitwise XOR says only one of the bits should be set. Or you can also understand it like this: both the bits should be different. So how is this same? Because only one of the bits should be set. It means दोनों में से सिर्फ एक ही 1 होगा, दूसरा 0 होना चाहिए, या फिर पहला वाला 0 दूसरा 1 हो. And also makes sense because both the bits are different. अगर दोनों में से एक ही set है तो obviously दोनों different है, right? एक 0 एक 1, या फिर एक 1 दूसरा 0. And here's bitwise XOR. So yeah, you can see that basically इस example में तो वो luckily same output दे रहा है as of bitwise OR, but it gives different output, and we are quickly coming to that. And bitwise OR, guys, is one of the most important concept to understand, because इसके basis पे you can totally solve questions जो normally काफी tricky लगते हैं, but bitwise OR is going to make that possible very easily. So this is one of the most important concept for competitive programming. For cracking any interview or competitive programming, bitwise XOR is very important to understand. So let's see what it's doing here. Here, the output is all set bits because यहाँ पे 1 है and यहाँ पे 0 है. So that is exactly the requirement for bitwise XOR, right? दोनों bits different होनी चाहिए. 1 and 1, bitwise XOR, 0 is a 1. Similarly, 0 and 1 is also 1. And all of these are alternate bits. देखो कहीं पे भी same चीजें नहीं है, उसीलिए 1 represent कर रहा है, but यहाँ पे But यहाँ पे when we have two zeros, 0 bitwise 0, 0 bitwise or 0, this is going to give us a 0 because bits same हो गए. So let's quickly verify that in the code as well. I'm going to use same. यहाँ पे this is the symbol for bitwise XOR. And guys, you might be confused because बाकी languages में, in some languages, this operator, this exponent symbol, this normally tells power. This normally says a raised to the power b. But in C++, this is XOR operator, bitwise XOR. 0 XOR 0 is equal to 0, 1 XOR 1 is equal to 0. Yeah, exactly, Mansi. If both the bits are same, it's going to give you 0. Because it needs both the bits to be different to give you a 1. So I have here 5 and 7. So can you quickly, all of you, ping in the chat what is going to be the output of A bitwise XOR B, where A is 5 and B is 7. Two. Okay, exactly. It's going to be 2 because the binary representation of 5 is 101 and binary representation of 7 is 111. So this 1 is going to cancel out this one because ये XOR है. And this 0 and 1, it's okay. ये एक हमें 1 देगा. And then this 1 and this 1 will cancel out each other, the leftmost ones, because दोनों same है. So bitwise XOR will say नहीं भाई तुम्हें नहीं ले रहा हूँ मैं and you are not accepted. It's 0. So let's verify that as well. And you can see that now the output is 2. So all of you are correct. And just like that, guys, हमने 3 basic operations complete कर ली XOR की. Now that leaves us with 2 more basic operations. Not exactly basic, but बहुत ज़्यादा use होता है. So let's quickly look into that as well. And it's going to be left shift operator. So yeah, now this is left shift operator, and guys, what this does is we have just seen the structure, how a code is saved, how a number is saved inside in the memory when it is declared an integer. This is how it is stored, right? 32 available slots होते हैं उसके पास, 32 available bits. उस सारे bits में वो 0101 के combinations में number save करता है. Now just keep this in mind that this is how a number is saved. Now let's come back to left shift. uh, okay, among left shift is this one, towards pointing towards the left. Okay, it's like this is smaller than symbol, smaller than smaller than. So let's quickly look what it is doing. Now imagine I have a variable a जिसमें मैंने एक number store करी है 3. ठीक है, this is just the number that I've saved, and this is the binary representation for 3 1 1. Basically 1 and 1 plus 2 3, so we have 3. So this is the binary representation for 3, and इससे पहले की सारी numbers 0 से filled है, as we already know. That is how computer stuffs the pads the value which is not available. क्योंकि सिर्फ 2 bits में 3 represent हो रहा है, तो बाकी की सारी 0 से filled है. And now if I use a left shift 1, I hope the 1 is visible, थोड़ी sunlight आ गई है. So what I'm doing here is a left shift 1, and when I use a left shift 1, वो क्या करता है, जो पूरी 32 bits की set है ना, ये पूरी 32 bits, this entire set of 32 bits is moved 1 bit towards the left. Why 1 bit? Because मैंने a left shift 1 use करा है. So when I use a left shift 1, this entire set of 32 bits which was already stored in a is moved 1 bit to the left, and right side में भी जो space बच रही है, it is filled with 0. And so sorry for this, यहाँ पे एक 0 है. I don't know why I missed it. I guess I missed it by mistake. So basically क्या करता है, this entire set of 32 bits जिस पे आपने left shift operator use करा, उस entire set of 32 bits को n number of bits to the left shift करेगा. Now here n is 1 because I am telling you left shift 1. So it will shift the entire 32 bits 1 bit to the left, and right side में भी जितनी space बचेगी, since अभी सारे left shift हो गए, उस space को ही 0 से fill कर देगा. So similarly, here's another example. If I fill it with if I use a left shift 2, then it is going to shift the entire set of 32 bits 2 bits to the left, 2 bits to the left. As you can see, ये 1 1 पहले यहाँ पे थे, अभी ये लोग 2 bits to the left shift हो गए, सारे के सारे bits. You can imagine it like this, all the bits are shifted to the left. So ये 1 1 2 यहाँ पे shift हो गया, ये वाला 1 जो पहले यहाँ पे था on the second bit, it is now the 4th bit, यहाँ आ गया 1 2. Similarly, all the zeros that were beforehand वो भी shift हो गए, and just like that बाकी right side में जितना space बचा 0 से fill हो गया, and वही हो रहा है. So you can see that it was initially 3, जब shift हो गया it became 6 because सारे के सारे bits left shift हो गए, तो उनकी power बढ़ गई, 2 raised to the power 1 plus 2 raised to the power 2, अब वो 6 हो गया, 4 plus 2 6. 2 bits सब shift हो गए, उनका power और increase हो गया, it became 12. And that is another important mathematical property, उसको बाद में देखते हैं, उससे पहले इस चीज को try भी कर लेते हैं. Let's do that as well. This is left shift, and here I'm going to do a left shift. एक और variable declare करता हूँ in x. X is basically going to x में मैं value store करूँगा जितने bits मुझे shift करना है. So first of all I'm going to do it 1, and I'll shift whatever inside my variable a is a variable in my 5 So for the demonstration, let's take 3 because we have understood that with, as an example of 3. And what I'm going to do is response में result variable में answer store करूँगा. I'm going to store a left shift x, ठीक है, and x की value 1 है. Now if I print the answer, it's going to be what we have just already seen in the example. It's going to be a left shift 7, 3 left shift 7. Okay, my bad. मैंने b लिखा है पे. I'm shifting it by x bits. So let's verify it. 3 left shift 1 is equal to 6. We already know that. अपने एग्जाम्पल में ऑलरेडी वेरीफाई कर लिया है. What I'm going to do is मैं x को 2 कर दूंगा and you guys can quickly verify the answer. 3 left shift 2 is okay. मैंने resonance से भी करा. This is equal to a left shift x. Now the new value of x because x अभी 2 हो चुका है. So let's quickly verify that as well. 3 left shift 2 is 12. And guys, what if I do this again? I do this again, and now the value of x is 4. No, the value of x is 3, and the value of a is 5. ज़्यादा हो जाएगा वेट. नहीं ठीक है. Okay. So now tell me the answer for this question. For this values, x is equal to 3 and a is equal to 5, and the result is a left shift x. So basically, it is 5 left shift 3. Can you guys quickly tell me what's going to be the answer? Forty. Cool. So someone is saying 40. Is it? And if we shift it, what I've taken, x is equal to 3. So I'll shift it 3 bits to the left, so it's going to be 0, 0, 0. Now this will be the binary representation of the answer, and that's going to be, yeah, exactly, it's going to be 40. And also one easy trick to always calculate that is a property of right shift. Since ये left की तरफ shift कर रहा है, and we know that just a second please. Yeah, so guys, that is left shift operator, and we are already familiar with left shift operator. Now I'll hand it over to Shadid here, and he's going to explain you one very interesting question.
So hello everyone, let us start with another of the topic, and after the topic it is a 10 to 15 minutes topic, and after the topic we will cover the concept, we will cover the topics that are numerical topics as well. So the session will be now of 10 to 15 minutes story left, and then we will cover the practical topics only. So wait for the practical topics, and there will be 2 attendance form for today. I think Sarthak will be sharing one now, and one will be shared after the practical numerical session. So Sarthak, can you share the form of today's session? Or we will share it after the theory class.
I have
Like,
shared that. I have shared that.
okay,
Guys,
okay.
those who have joined for the theory class, please fill this particular form. Okay, guys, and we will have a numerical session too. In that numerical session too, we will share again a form, Google form for you. Okay, for the attendance, so that we will have a 2 attendance. Okay, so I think form is in your chat. Go and fill that. Okay, after this particular session, we will give you 5 minutes rest. Okay, take that time you can ask your queries and fill this particular form. Okay, so let's
Sarthak, there is a doubt that it is not accepting the responses.
please try
So
now.
can you please?
Please try now. Okay, it will accept the response, guys. It will accept the response after the theory class end. After the theory class end. Okay, wait. Can you check it now? Can you check it now? Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
Sarthak, can
guys.
you
So
please share
let's
the link again so that they will be able to fill it easily.
Now
No,
it is.
Umang, it is now accepting the responses. You can fill it, and Sarthak is resharing the link also in the chat so that it is easy for you to access it.
Can anyone confirm me that link is working or not? Can anyone confirm? Okay,
Yes,
great.
it is accepting now. We have received.
Okay, guys, thank you. So let's continue with a small topic of 10 to 15 minutes. Then we have a numerical session. Okay, so so you are enjoying the session and everything is clear. If not, so do one thing. Please ping in the chat. Chat box. We will help you out. Divyasom and me will be there at the back end to help you out, guys. Okay, if anyone have any
Yes.
doubt. Okay, great, guys. Great.
So, let us wait for 1 minute to let everyone fill the form. Till then, you are filling the form. Let me write the topic here. Base class pointer. Okay. So this is the topic for today: base class pointer and derived class object. It is also known as overloading in terms of C++. तो overloading वाला concept होगा हमारा, that will be done today only. तो अभी देखते हैं अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं. तो अभी हम देखते हैं आगे अभी. तो अभी हमको क्या करना है. वी हैव ए क्लास. एक मैं सिंपल सी बात करता हूँ. इनहेरिटेंस, आई थिंक यू ऑल विल बी फेमिलियर विद इनहेरिटेंस, द टॉपिक ऑफ इनहेरिटेंस. तो इनहेरिटेंस में क्या होता है. मैंने एक क्लास बनाई, दैट इज क्लास इज माई फोन क्लास. That is my simple phone. That is my keypad phone. And then I have inherited a class from it, which is a smartphone. तो आई थिंक सब लोग इनहेरिटेंस से क्लियर होंगे. तो एक बार जो जो इनहेरिटेंस से क्लियर है, प्लीज पुट इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन so that I am clear that all of you are working, all of you are clear with the inheritance and I can start with the topic. तो अब हमारी दो क्लासेस, स्मार्टफोन्स एंड फोन. अब मैं एक चीज बोलता हूँ कि मेरे फोन के पास कुछ फीचर्स हैं. लाइक फोन हैज ए फीचर टू कॉल. अब जैसे ही मेरे फोन के पास एक कॉलिंग का फीचर है, माई फोन हैज अनदर फीचर ऑफ मैसेज. ठीक है. एंड नाउ लेट अस कंटिन्यू विद स्मार्टफोन. स्मार्टफोन के पास कुछ अलग फीचर्स हैं जो एक फोन, नॉर्मल फोन के पास नहीं थी. वन ऑफ देम बीइंग कैमरा एंड अनदर ऑफ देम, मतलब कि क्या क्या. एक और चीज बताओ कि जो स्मार्टफोन में नॉर्मल फोन में नहीं. प्लीज राइट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन और हम उसके साथ आगे उसी चीज को हम लेते हैं. एक तो कैमरा हो गया हमारा एंड समथिंग एल्स लाइक सोशल मीडिया. ओके, तो हमने ये चीजें मान ली कि ये हमारी सोशल मीडिया और कैमरा, दे आर इन द फोन, इन द स्मार्टफोन, एंड कॉलिंग एंड मैसेज फैसिलिटीज इन द फोन. अब इसका मतलब ये तो नहीं है ना कि अब अगर मैं देखूं तो मेरे जो स्मार्टफोन की कैपेबिलिटीज होंगी, दे विल बी ऑल ऑफ दीज कैपेबिलिटीज. बट व्हेन आई am coming to the phone, the capability of the phone will be this capabilities only. तो अब हम क्या बोल रहे हैं कि हमने एक बेस क्लास का पॉइंटर बनाया. आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ बेस क्लास पॉइंटर एज द नेम सजेस्ट. आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ पॉइंटर ऑफ बेस क्लास एंड आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ derived क्लास ऑब्जेक्ट. तो अब ये अगर मैं बात करूं, जो मेरा फोन है, एक मेरा स्मार्टफोन भी तो एक फोन है ही नॉर्मल. इफ आई एम टेलिंग दैट there is a smartphone, so smartphone is a phone in itself as well. तो मैं एक नॉर्मल फोन की क्लास का पॉइंटर बना के मैं एक derived क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट भी बना सकता हूँ. बट दैट विल बी ओनली बी एबल टू एक्सेस द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ a बेस क्लास ओनली. दैट विल नॉट बी एबल टू एक्सेस द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ derived class. If I am using a base class pointer and I am using a derived class object, then it will only be able to use the properties of the base class only. Yes, it which is within the base class. Uma, it is correct. तो अब इसी चीज को हम प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में देखते हैं. लेट अस सी इट प्रैक्टिकली. and I am creating a new file 002. ठीक है, अब मैंने एक चीज बनाई हैशटैग include file stream using namespace std main. अब मैंने एक मेन बना दिया। अब मैं मेन के अंदर क्या कर रहा हूँ, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई एम क्रिएटिंग टू क्लासेस, क्लास ऑन। अब मैंने एक क्लास फोन बना दी। ओके, एंड इसके अंदर मैंने एक पब्लिक फंक्शन बना दिया दैट इज void call। अब मैंने एक कॉलिंग फंक्शन बना दिया एंड आई एम जस्ट प्रिंटिंग कौन इज कॉलिंग। तो मैंने एक सिंपल सा एक फंक्शन बना दिया। ऐसे ही मैं एक फंक्शन और बना देता हूँ मैसेज का। अब इसी तरह से हम एक और क्लास बनाते हैं जो हमारी दूसरी क्लास है दैट इज स्मार्टफोन। तो अब हमने क्लास चेंज कर दिया, वी हैव स्मार्टफोन क्लास एंड स्मार्टफोन क्लास हैज a functionality of like camera and another one is SM that is social media। तो अभी हम एक काम करते हैं, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट अस क्रिएट एन ऑब्जेक्ट फॉर बोथ ऑफ द क्लासेस। वन ऑब्जेक्ट इज फोन, any phone p1। ठीक है, अब मैंने p1 एक फोन की क्लास बना ली एंड आई एम एक्सेसिंग p1 डॉट कॉल। p1 dot call is accessible and I am accessing p1 dot message। p1 dot message is also accessible when I am creating a class for smartphone। अब मैं स्मार्टफोन की क्लास बना दी s1। तो हमारा जो s1 क्या एक्सेस कर रहा है, नाउ लेट अस सी व्हाट इज एक्सेसिबल फ्रॉम s1। s1 से कैमरा एक्सेसिबल है। ओके, द कैमरा इज एक्सेसिबल। ओके, आई हैव नॉट इनहेरिटेड, लेट अस इनहेरिट इट फर्स्ट। ठीक है, तो अब हमने एक फोन को इनहेरिट कर दिया। तो s1 हैज कैमरा, s1 has call now as well, s1 has message as well and s1 has social media as well। तो s1 के पास ये सारी की सारी फंक्शनैलिटीज हैं। बट व्हाट इफ there is a person who is using the phone, who is using a smartphone but who does not actually think it is a smartphone। मतलब कि आपके पास स्मार्टफोन है एंड यू आर स्टिल थिंकिंग इट इज अ फोन, तो आप ये दोनों सर्विस एक्सेस नहीं कर पाओगे। तो अब इसको देखते हैं हम कैसे करते हैं। अभी मेरे जितने भी स्मार्टफोन हैं, ऑल द स्मार्टफोन आर एक्चुअली फोन। स्मार्टफोन हैं जितने भी, वो फोन तो पहले से ही है ना, मतलब दे आर फोन बाय डिफॉल्ट ना। So P1 can't access smartphone function. Yes, P1 cannot access smartphone function. That is what I am saying. That is what I am saying, Mansi. So let me create a class pointer phone. I am creating a pxo any phone star pt phone pointer. I am creating a phone pointer, and by creating a phone pointer, I am initializing an object of smartphone class. Phone pointer is equal to new smartphone. What I am doing, I am using a phone pointer, but I am initializing an object of smartphone class। अब मेरी स्मार्टफोन क्लास क्या कर रही है, what my smartphone class is doing, WB। अब मेरा पॉइंटर है, तो पॉइंटर है तो मैं डॉट ऑपरेटर से तो एक्सेस नहीं कर पाऊंगा. And Sarthak, there are some of the queries that the attendance link is not working. Can you please confirm it?
Yes, attendance link is not working because it's for the 5 to 6 class. So if they will be through the end, I think they have joined late. That's why they didn't find that.
Okay,
For
they will get the attendance for the
6 to
practical
7
session.
class. Yes, for the
So
theory.
those who are joined, those who are joined now, they will get the attendance for the theory class, that is 6 to 7 class, but they will not will get the attendance for the so they will get the attendance for the practical class. Okay, तो अब हमको phone pointer से access करनी है value. So I am using phone pointer and I am using the operator. But phone pointer can only access call and message only. ठीक है, तो अब यही चीज मैं बता रहा था कि हम एक फोन पॉइंटर से हम मैसेजेस तो एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, कॉल भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, बट देयर इज अ सिंगल phone here. There is a phone here. It is not a smartphone. We are accessing smartphone as a normal phone, so we will be able to access some of the restricted services. You can say of it as we have some lock on the smartphone services, and now we are able to access only the phone services. We have put a lock on the smartphone services here. तो हमारा ये काम कर रहा है बेस क्लास पॉइंटर एंड derived क्लास ऑब्जेक्ट. Sorry, it got deleted by mistake. So I think this topic is clear to everyone. If anyone is facing any issues in the given topic, or shall I proceed to the main topic, that is virtual classes as of now? Kuldeep, you were informed earlier there was a poll on Telegram group as well, and all of the messages were floated in the WhatsApp group that the classes will be at 5, and the poll message was also floated in the WhatsApp group. So you should be active about that. एंड इतने हम इसको रन करके देखते हैं कि हमारी ये चीज हो कैसे रही है, that what it is showing. So let me compile the code. Okay, first of all I need to change the directive. Can you repeat this part in short? Yes, I will repeat the part in short. Okay, no worry about that. So okay, let me remove these things and let me print an end after them. We are making a pointer, we are making a reference of phone and object of smartphone. Yes, Mansi, we are doing that. We are restricting the features of smartphone to be that of a phone. So that is the thing which we are doing. We are putting a restriction over it. It is like a lock. I think you can see it. We have put a lock on the features of camera and social media of the phone, and the phone is only able to access the calling and messaging feature. But now let us have some of the looks about the concept as well. There may be calling feature on the smartphone, on non-normal phone, and there might be calling feature on the. Uh, can you explain it? Okay. Let me explain the concept a little bit again. And now let me show you something different as well. अभी तक हमने क्या किया था? What we are doing? We have created a phone class and we have created a smartphone class which is inheriting the phone class. I think this is clear to everyone. अब हमने जब इसका phone का एक object बनाया, so it was able to access the functions from the phone class. And when we created an object of smartphone class, it was able to access the features of smartphone class as well as phone class, as phone class was already smartphone class was already inherited from the phone class. Till now, is it clear to everyone? Till now, Mansi and Vishal and Arnab, is it clear to you all? Please tell it fast, guys, as we have to also begin with the numerical session as well. So please confirm it a little bit faster. Okay, okay. Now it is clear to everyone. But अब हमने क्या किया? We want to restrict the features of smartphone to the features of the phone. Consider it as a parental lock. Okay, consider it as a parental lock. I am explaining everything. I am explaining after line 36 as well. तो एक बार आप समझो तो कि हो क्या रहा है. अब मैंने एक पेरेंटल लॉक लगा दिया स्मार्टफोन पे, जैसे कि वो सिर्फ एक फोन के फीचर्स ही एक्सेस कर पाएगा. ओके, तो अब हमने क्या किया? वी हैव क्रिएटेड अ pointer of the base class. We have created a pointer of the phone class, and we have created as the object of smartphone class. So actually it is smartphone, but it is only able to access the functions of a normal phone class. तो हम ये कर रहे हैं, we are providing a parental lock like thing on this. So we are creating an object, we are creating a pointer of the base class, and we are creating object of the derived class. So derived class is only able to access the functionality of phone classes only. तो हमने ये अभी तक काम किया. Is it clear to everyone now, or you are facing any of the issues? If you are not facing any issues, we can continue with next topic also.
Okay, guys. So I think for the 5 to 6 attendance, hopefully many of you have your college classes. Okay, after the session, I will update that particular form in the description. But for 6 to 7, we will not consider any, non-live attendees. Only live attendees will get the attendance. So please, if you can attend the 6 to 7 live, that will be great. And all the doubts will be taken live as we are taking now. Okay. So hopefully you are enjoying the session. So Satish, you can continue.
Okay. So now what we are doing, like there is a call facility in the normal phone and there is a call facility in the smartphone. But now we have upgraded the call facility from the smartphone. So phone is calling and it is vibrating as well. तो हमने क्या किया? हमने ना कॉल की ना फैसिलिटीज भी अपग्रेडेड इन द स्मार्टफोन क्लास. बट अभी भी क्या हो रहा है? व्हेन आई एम यूजिंग स्मार्टफोन, वो कॉल फैसिलिटी इज एक्सेसिबल, बट दैट इज एक्सेसिबल फ्रॉम द पेरेंट क्लास. अभी अगर मैं इसको रन करूं, मैंने इसके अंदर भी एक कॉल फंक्शन बना दिया है, बट व्हेन आई एम रनिंग इट एंड व्हेन आई एम क्रिएटिंग ए ऑब्जेक्ट फ्रॉम द स्मार्टफोन क्लास. तो अब एक बार s1 से भी एक बार कॉल को एक्सेस करते हैं, s1 डॉट कॉल. तो अब डिफरेंस देखते हैं. जब हम स्मार्टफोन से डायरेक्टली कॉल को एक्सेस कर रहे हैं एंड व्हेन वी आर यूजिंग दिस टू एक्सेस द कॉल. अभी मैसेज को हटा देते हैं. वी डू नॉट केयर अबाउट मैसेज एज ऑफ नाउ. तो जब अब ये हमारा स्मार्टफोन था, हमने स्मार्टफोन से कॉल एक्सेस किया. So what is smartphone accessing now? Smartphone is accessing the call function from the smartphone. And but when we are accessing it using a phone pointer, it is accessing the phone function from a phone call function from the phone class. But this is an issue. We have a smartphone. We have limited feature to remove the features of social media and camera. But we have not removed the feature of call. So how it is not vibrating? There is some issue with the this now. तो अब क्या है कि तो अब हम क्या वो कह रहे हैं कि हम बोल रहे हैं कि इट शुड एक्सेस द न्यू फंक्शनैलिटी ऑफ कॉल. तो अब हमको अगर न्यू फंक्शनैलिटी एक्सेस करनी है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव कवर्ड एन इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक ऑफ ओवरराइडिंग. जब हम एक फंक्शन पेरेंट क्लास में और डेराइव्ड क्लास में दोनों में डिफाइन कर देते हैं, देन इट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ओवरराइडिंग. तो ओवरराइडिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट हमारा कंप्लीट हो चुका है. नाउ लेट अस कंटिन्यू विद फर्दर टॉपिक. अब मेरे को क्या करना था कि मेरे को एक ही फंक्शनलिटी एक्सेस करनी थी फॉर स्मार्टफोन क्लास. So what I will do, I will write virtual keyword here. So what virtual will do, it will instruct the compiler कि जब भी स्मार्टफोन का ऑब्जेक्ट यूज हो रहा है, so it should use this call function rather than using this call function. तो अब हमारा जब भी स्मार्टफोन का ऑब्जेक्ट एक्सेस होगा, इट विल यूज द कॉल फंक्शन फ्रॉम द स्मार्टफोन क्लास ओनली. क्योंकि हमने एक कॉलिंग की फीचर को रिस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं किया था. वी हैव ओनली रिस्ट्रिक्टेड द फीचर्स ऑफ कैमरा एंड सोशल मीडिया. तो अब हम इसको रन करते हैं एंड व्हाट इज देयर, लेट अस सी. चलो दोनों में डिफरेंस भी देखते हैं. आई एम नॉट क्लियरिंग द आउटपुट. तो अब हमारे जो दोनों phones हैं, both the phones are calling and vibrating as well. तो हम अपनी किसी चीज को, it is same like abstract in Java. No, it is not same as abstract. Abstract is never defined, but we are overriding here. It is somewhat different from abstract. It is somewhat different. So we are not limiting the features of smartphone to complete a data phone. We are only restricting some of the features here. So this is the concept of virtual. And even if we do not define it here, if we do not define it here, I simply write a function and I initialize it with 0, then this is the concept of pure virtual function. This is the concept of pure virtual function, and this is same as abstract in Java. Okay, I think so. Now the concept is clear to everyone. So no need to worry about the pure virtual concept. This was only an extra concept. The virtual concept is here. And Rajesh is asking to explain the virtual concept again. So what virtual is doing? Virtual is accessing the similar functionality from the smartphone class rather than accessing it from the phone class. So virtual is not limiting the functionalities of a smartphone to similar to not to same as that of phone, but virtual is limiting it to similar. So smartphone will be able to perform call, but the additional features of calling will be available in the smartphone class as well. So now virtual has only this use or any other as well. Yes, virtual is also used to remove the multiple of the functions. So we will see that use as well in our classes. But now let us proceed with some of the questions from Google Kickstart that Divyasom is going to take about the bitwise operator, as we have some limited amount of time. So let us start with the practical session. And now I would like to invite Divya to continue with the practical topic further and continue with the question section from now on.
Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, and I think your screen will be visible as of now as well.
Okay. So this is where we left. We discussed till left shift operator, and I guess that was clear to everyone, right? And here, guys, this is what I missed back then. This is an important property of left shift operator. If you are shifting anything, by x bits, then it's actually a product of that number times 2 raised to the power that number of bits that you have moved. This is just one of the important properties, and just let's quickly move to today's question. And just like that, guys, there is another right shift. वही करता है. Other than left, it moves to the right. एंड राइट में जो भी बिट आती है उसको डिस्कार्ड कर देता है. जैसे अगर पहले 1 1 था, अगर मैं राइट शिफ्ट करूंगा, इट विल रिमूव दैट लास्ट वन एंड एवरीथिंग विल शिफ्ट वन बिट टू द राइट. इफ आई मूव इट अगेन, दैट इज a right shift 2, it will make everything 0. And basically its important mathematical reason is, it is, if you use a right shift x, then it's basically dividing it and returning it. It's returning us its integer part. So I guess that is bit clear. 3 right shift 1 is actually 1.5 and उसका integer part return करता है. So it is just one of the important mathematical property of left and right shift operators. So I guess these operators are clear to everyone. So now let's move on to how these operators help us to optimize our code and directly do some
Divya,
computer coding. Yeah,
there is a lot of background noise from there. Can you please look into that?
yeah, one sec.
Okay, guys, till Divisam is fixing the background noise, you can ask your queries, and then we are going with it again. And Kalash, if you have any of the queries regarding the virtual, please review the video and ask your doubts over the Telegram or WhatsApp group. We will surely be able to help you. But as of now, due to limited amount of time, we will not be able to explain the virtual concept again from the beginning. So no need to worry about that.
Yeah, I hope it's not there anymore. My background noise.
Yes, yes, it is clear. It is clear. You can
Okay,
continue.
guys, cool. Sorry about that. Now let's quickly see how bitwise operators actually help us to make our code faster. So just two important properties, and then we'll solve a question that was asked in Amazon. Today we'll solve a question asked in Amazon interview, and not in some coding competition like last time we solved a question from Google Kickstart 2020. Today we are going to solve a question which is asked in Amazon's interview. So before that, just two important properties. This is not important for the question, but this is sometimes you can use it to optimize your code. So guys, जब तुम्हें check करना होता है if number is number is odd or even. So what do you do? This is what we write if a mod 2 is equal to 0. So that is how we check, right? If this condition is true, then it is even, else it is not. But internally, ये mod operator use करेगा. It will use some algorithm, and it's going to take a while to do. But actually, if you use bitwise operator, it's going to operate at a bit level, and that is very fast. It happens in you can kind of say a constant or a negligible amount of time. Or when we study DSA, that representation is called big O of 1. It basically means a constant time, a very small amount of time. So to do this similar operation, if we want to check if a number is odd or even, we can just say a and 1 is equal to a is equal to 0 right? Or for just clarity, let's put a and 1 is equal to 0. If this condition is true, we already know what bitwise AND does, right? अगर दोनों के दोनों bits are set, then it will return us 1. As you can see here, this is 1, so 1 is represented by a single bit. सिर्फ एक 1 चाहिए last में. We only need 1 here. Just this one single bit can represent the number 1. And here we have a, and whatever number in a, we can put whatever we want to. And if any number is odd, guys, always remember this: if any number is odd, the rightmost bit is always going to be 1, else it is never odd, else it is an even number. Because only with the rightmost bit is set, only then that number can be an odd number. Because उसी से ये 1 आता है, and that is what makes your number odd या even. So this is just one quick operation to check if your number is odd or even at a bit level. That is one of the optimization. And here's a question for you now. And this question, and if you solve this question, you can easily solve that Amazon interview question. So first of all, let me quickly show you the question that was asked. And wait, yeah. So guys, this I got this question from Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a very good website if you are looking for jobs, and you can apply for jobs right here. And here I got this question which was asked in Amazon in Seattle interview. Amazon software developer engineering interview, Seattle. So here the question is, given an array of integers in which all the numbers occur even number of times except for one number which occurs odd number of times. Okay. So guys, basically in a nutshell, this is the question that we are going to solve today. Given an array of integer in which all the numbers occur even number of times and only one number occurs odd number of times, and we have to find that number. So there are going to be, this question looks easy, and it is also easy. It is not a tough question, but it is tricky. And interviews में this question is asked not because that this is an easy question. Because अगर तुम देखोगे कुछ नहीं करना, हमें for loop use करना है. One of the most easiest approach is we can use an algorithm like this. Use a for loop. Check, count all the numbers. Count all numbers, and then if count of any number that you have encountered is equal to a odd number, then print it. हो गया solve. As easy as that. You can just use a simple loop, and during the loop you can count the frequency of all the odd numbers. Then एक next step आएगा, you have to check all the counts, all the frequencies जो odd है, print it out. And with that logic, and with this logic, this logic which is going to take many loops, many frequencies, and extra arrays to do, and all that. But in interviews, आपको easy questions मिलता है, but उसको आपको optimize करना होता है. And here I'm putting condition.
Divya,
इस लोग को,
please wait
या
a minute. Can you please
या
share the question on the what in the live chat or put it on the live screen as some of them are asking for it.
yeah, guys, this is the question. I also share the link to this website in the comment section. Just give me a sec.
Please put it in the chat. I will share
Yeah.
it.
Guys, right here you can take the question, the link to the question. It's on Glassdoor, but please, below there there's a solution for it. So let's do the solution together, right? Don't look at the solution and paste the question on the screen. Okay, cool. So guys, this is the question, and this is one of the most naive logic that we can implement, right? हम एक loop use करेंगे. We will loop through all the numbers, and while looping, we will store a count of all the numbers in a different array because we have to keep a check of all the frequencies, right? We need to check the count of all the numbers, and then we need to compare which frequency is odd, right? Which number is occurring odd number of times, and then we have to print it. So we are using loop multiple times, or no, a single loop will do, okay? But we are using in different array to store the frequency, and then we are checking it. You know, we have to go through loop through it again to check which frequency is odd, and then we have to print it. So multiple loops and an extra array. And what if I put a condition? You can loop once, and no extra array. So this is the condition that are, these kind of questions are asked to you in interview. You will be given a simple question, but they will put some constraints on it. You can loop only once. So now this logic fails because this needs multiple looping. And then no extra array. If without extra array we cannot store the frequency that we are counting. So ये logic fail हो गया. And now we'll solve this question. Okay. So let's make a separate file for that. I'll call it Amazon. ठीक है, कुछ और नाम देता हूँ. Amazon. Okay, I'm very bad in naming. .cpp. Hashtag include bits stdc++ dot each. And ठीक है, boilerplate बन गया. So this is the boilerplate for a C++ code, something that we have been using since day one. And what I'll do here is, first of all, I'll take a number n as an input from my user. Basically, that will be the size of my array जो मुझे input लेनी है. And what I'll do here is I'll say int n c in n. Okay? So it will first take a number n as an input, and then I'll make an array int arr. Okay, since we are doing it for interview question, interview में integer data type cannot solve it because they use really huge test cases to solve your question, to test your question, and huge numbers cannot come into int. So let's use let's say def long int ll. So I'm again using a nickname for, instead of writing this big name, I will just say ll, and I can say lln, and my array will be of like ll2. So I have an array, and it is of size n. And guys, we're going to solve this using bitwise operators, and we'll be surprised that this simple bitwise XOR that we have learned right now can solve this question. So before we go to the logic of how it is doing it, let's look at one important property of XOR. Very important property, and it is going to actually help you in many different questions, not just for this, but in many different questions. One important XOR property. Okay. So what this XOR property is okay, and only you guys will answer me. You guys already know how to use XOR here, so you guys are going to tell me the answer, and that similar logic is going to solve this question. So what I'm going to do here is A XOR B, and let's quickly let's make sure that all of you remember. I have two numbers A3 B7. If I'm telling A XOR B, then what is going to be the answer of 3 XOR 7? Quickly do that while I write the property here. Yes, it is going to be A XOR. Okay. Tell me the answer for 3 XOR 7 quickly in the chat, guys. I'm going to do that. numbers. So 4. Okay, cool. So everyone remembers 3 or 7. Was it 4? Yeah, okay. Only 2 is for 2 will be activated. So, okay, now we are clear that. We are clear there. And we already know that XOR, the only constraint is what it checks, both the bits should be different. And guys, what if I tell you I XOR two same numbers? I'm going to use bitwise XOR on the same number twice. अगर a का bitwise representation मान लो a के अंदर 3 है 5 है या फिर मान लो कि 8 है or any number 8's bitwise representation is 1000. If it is 9, it's going to be something like this 1001. So this is the bitwise representation of 9. And if I XOR it with itself, if I XOR it with itself, bitwise XOR of the same number with itself. Now the output, can you quickly tell me what is going to be the output? Sorry, I wrote the output. It's going to be 0, exactly. No, Manset is not subtracting. What it does is it compares the number at a bit level, and if two corresponding bits, for example, here the rightmost one and the rightmost one, they are same, so it will give me 0. If they are different, it will give me 1. So that is just the basic property of XOR. I've already written that here in comment. Both the bits should be different for that bit to be, true. So since when we, XOR two a number with itself, two same numbers with itself, then the output is going to be 0 because all the bits are same. Obviously, the same number will have the same bits, right? So if we XOR, this is the most important property to remember. If a number is XORed with itself, it is always 0. 9 minus 9. Yeah, 9 minus 9 is 0, Mansi, but in XOR, it is not actually subtracting. It is comparing at a bit level. It is not doing, subtraction. If I would have written here A XOR 0 and A again. So if this is what I would have done, quickly tell me in the answer, the chat section, what is going to be the answer, and you will notice that that is not subtraction. Quickly answer that in the chat. What is going to be the answer if I use A XOR A again with A itself? We can think of it like this. This is what it will do first. From the left hand side, it will calculate the value of A XOR A, and then it will, again XOR it with A itself. Exactly, it is going to be A. So whatever the value of A was, वही output आ जाएगा. So this is the second important property to remember. First important property, any number XOR with itself is 0. So this value जो मैंने common brackets के अंदर लिखी है, it will become 0. And now if we use 0 XOR A, internally in the compiler it will look something like this. और मान लो A में value है 9, so its bitwise is going to be 1001. And this is how the compiler will compare them. 0 में सारी की सारी bits 0 होने वाली है, and in A we have 1001. Now obviously since all the bits are 0 here, यहाँ पे नंबर में जहाँ पे भी 1 आएगा, it is different. 1 यहाँ पे 0 है, यहाँ पे 1 है, यहाँ पे 0 है, so इसका आउटपुट सेम आएगा. So this is the next important property. 0 XOR with anyone, any number is going to return the number itself. So that gives us our two important properties which we need to remember. A XOR, not exactly A, means any number XOR with itself is equal to 0. And the second important property, any 0 XOR any number. Sorry about that. I pressed Control A by mistake. Any number XOR with 0 is going to give us the number. Okay? And we only need this logic to solve this question. So now let's move on to the question. I hope this property is clear to everyone. Cool. Yeah, 1001 is correct. Exactly, Kulli. And Mansi. 1001 was correct for that question. So we have an array of size n, and let's quickly take an input for the number. Let's quickly fill the array, and I is equal to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus. Okay. And whatever number is comes in, let's fill that into the array. So this was for this question, given an array of integers. So first of all, I'm trying to take an integer array input from the user. So I took a number n, I declared an array of size n, and then I'm filling that number with the values of whatever value the user inputs. So with here, fetching the array from the user is complete. Fetch array from user, and that function is complete. Now here comes the next function that we want to check which number occurs odd number of times. So let's see how simple it is. And before I do that, can anyone suggest me how to do it? Okay, some are already writing in the chat. Got it, got it, got it. I hope you guys have already got it. So can you ping in the chat what's the solution to this question? Okay, so cool. Okay, no one is putting that into chat, so let's try to solve it together. So what I'm doing here, basically मैंने simple loop कर दिया. I could have just written n, but ठीक है, this is equivalent to n as well. I'm basically writing n, but in the first when we learned array, we discussed this is one of the methods to calculate the size of an array, since there is no inbuilt method in C++. So what this loop will do, it will travel from index I is equal to 0 to I less than equal to n, less than n, less than, yeah. And what I will do here is, guys, first of all, I'll declare int result here, not int. My entire media type is ll, so I'll use int res is equal to 0. And as a logic, what I'm going to do is res is equal to res solve arr of I. Okay. And what this will do is just this question. I mean, after just this loop is over, our answer will be in solution res, and I just need to print it out. See now res, and this solves the entire question in just one loop and no extra array. We are using one single. Forget about this loop. ये input लेने के लिए normally when you write solve these questions, input आपको वैसे भी as a parameter मिलती है, so you don't have to take an input that like that externally, as in you don't have to write the code to take an input. Just consider that the logic starts from here. You're using one simple loop, and in that loop what we're doing is we have declared a variable, initialize it to 0, and every time I'm just using all the I'm using bitwise XOR with that variable and all the let's say variables of res. And what it does is we already know using this property that any number XOR with itself is 0, and we know that any number XOR with 0 is is the number itself. So this also means कि अगर मैं ऐसा कुछ करता हूँ, ये मेरे को a देने वाला है. Notice here, if I'm using using bitwise XOR on the same number 3 times, that is odd number of times, it will give me the number. But if I'm using it even number of times, if अगर मैं फिर से एक और बार XOR कर दूँ same number को, this will become 0, right? क्योंकि वो अपने आप को cancel कर देगा. ये दोनों एक दूसरे को cancel करेंगे, ये दोनों एक दूसरे को cancel करेंगे, and finally 0 XOR 0 is 0. So this is the last and the final property of XOR, that even number of times if you use XOR on the same number, then it is going to be 0 even number of times. And if you use it odd number of times, it will give you the number itself, because जितने भी even times है ना, वो अपने आप को 0 cancel करेगा, and the final odd the odd presence of that number will give us the number itself. So similarly, when you use it here, since question में given है कि all numbers occur even times, so जितने भी even number of numbers हैं, when we are using XOR and storing it in res, those numbers will automatically cancel out because they occur even number of times, and that is the property of XOR. If anything is occurring even number of times, it will make them 0. And except for one number that occurs odd number of times, that's pretty simple. जो भी remaining है odd number of times, it will never cancel out, and it will finally be the value in res. So if I just run this code, okay, it's different. Sorry, G++, and cool. So I'm going to give an array of size 10. इसके अंदर मैं fill करूँगा, let's say 1 1 1 1 9 9 9 and कितने हो गए 7 and okay I have to use how many numbers have I added 4 8 9 cool. So what I'm going to do is I have to use 9 again. I have to use 9 times and I'm trying to make something odd. So okay, and here I'm missing another number and it returns me 8 because it doesn't exist. My input was wrong. What I'll try to do is, let's say I have 5 numbers and I'll pass it 3 3 7 7 and 1. In this input you can see 3 exists even number of times, 7 exists even number of times, 1 occurs once. That is odd and it will exactly print out once. If I use it on any other input, let's say I have 11 inputs and I will use 7 7 4 4 8 8 1 or let's say 14 14 14 कितने हो गए 8 14 4 okay that is 8 and 9 and I'll use 5 and 5 again. So here every number occurs even number of times but 14 is occurring 3 times, that is odd, and if I run it you can see the output is 14. So just like that guys, in a single loop and using XOR bitwise operators we solve the question of Amazon AW of which place? Seattle software development engineering interview. You can check it out in the link as well. Yeah, Arnab, one extra variable is needed. One extra variable is needed, but it's not significant because this variable is constant. We are requiring exactly 4 bytes of space to solve this question because this variable is of type. Okay, it is long, so we are using exactly 8 bytes, and this number is fixed. अगर array में अभी मैं 10 million numbers भी input दूँ, if in ARR I used 10 million numbers, the amount of space that I'm going to consume is exactly 8. This is not increasing with the size of input. So this number is constant, and these spaces, this in space complexity, this thing is actually called in place algorithm. So you're not actually using any extra array. But if I would have used an extra array to store the number of frequencies, फिर वो array increase होता, right? अगर in size, input size बढ़ती तो array में हमारी frequencies भी बढ़ती and array का size bigger होता जाता with bigger inputs, and that size is scaling up and down according to the inputs, and वहाँ पे problem होती है because that space is not constant. But since this will always require exactly 8 bytes to be solved, this space is not considered. This is called an in-place algorithm. And if there are no doubts here, from here, Kshitij sir will take over and he will explain you another very important question. If question had been to find number which occurs even number of times and others odd number of times, then okay, in that case you could have used an extra array for सबको XOR कर दो and then XOR it again to compare which number is eventually deleting out, and then you can separate them. I hope that is a question
So
answered.
guys, now let us continue with another question. And ये question भी जो अभी है, this was asked in Amazon interview, and this was asked in Google and Samsung as well. So this is a question which was asked in 3 of the great companies which you are targeting for your placement. So what is given in the question, and let us see that कि हमको given क्या क्या है. First of all, we are given an array of positive number. ठीक है, अपने को एक एरे दे दिया पॉजिटिव नंबर. अब हमको बताना है, एक एरे दे दी. फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम गिविंग यू एन एरे ऑफ 5 7 1 9 4 1 9 5 4 2, and this is an array which is given to you. तो अब हमको बताना है which is the smallest positive number which is missing from the array. We have to define which is the smallest possible number which is missing from the array. और हमको ये क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना है in the time complexity order of n. We have to solve it in order of n only. So how will we do it? कि हम एक ही बार iterate कर सकते हैं over the array and we have to do it. We cannot use multiple for loops and we cannot use anything else. We can use only a single loop to iterate over the array, and we have to find the smallest positive number missing from the array. Let me find smallest positive number missing. किसी को इसके बारे में anyone has any of the idea about it? Anyone has any of the idea about it? If someone has an idea, please mention it in the comment section, or else I will continue with the solution. No idea. Okay. Let us now see. Let me create an array. Okay. Let us ask the user for array. First of all, we are asking the user to input an integer n, and we are creating a array of sizes and arr of n, and we are asking user to input the array for int I equal to 0, I is less than n, and I plus plus, we are cin arr of I. We have asked the user for an array. Now, as we have to do it in order of n, so let us create another array int test arr of int max size. And for that, I think I need to include limit.h. Let us include bit/stdc++.h, which will automatically include all of the libraries required. So I think int max should be already been included. Let's include math as well. I think limits has already cleared it. So we are creating part is library. Let me remove it. So let me create an array of a greater size, like I am creating it of a greater size. So we can use int max as well. Int max is a built-in. No, int max is not a built-in function. Int max is an array. It is a size, the maximum number which int can store. So I can also use int 32 max as well. Int 32 max will be present there. Int max. Okay, int max is available, but why it is saying error? Array size is too large. Okay. In max is also available. Okay, so I am creating an integer of 16 size and I am accessing the maximum element from it. So first of all, let us see कि हमारा int fast 16 max है क्या? int fast 16 max. तो हम देख तो लेंगे int fast 16 max हमारा है क्या? plus plus 3 and let us see कि हमारा आउटपुट क्या आ रहा है. I have turned a title and this is the array of 32,767. So int 32 max is a greater number. It is considering int as of 15 size. Okay, so we are creating a 32,000 size of an array. But use of limits library, it is used to limit. It has defined the limits of every integer. For example, it has defined the limit of int, which is the maximum value which you can store in it, which is the minimum value. It has defined the limit for the float and all the data types. तो हमने एक array बना दिया, test array, और हमने element set किए for int I equal to 0, I is less than int past 16 max and I plus plus, and I have initialized every element by -1. Let us let us initialize every element by 0 as well. तो एक 0 को इनिशियलाइज करने का एक तो फोर लूप वाला सिंटैक्स था और एक और सिंटैक्स था 0 इनिशियलाइज करने के लिए. I will write 0 comma. So it will automatically initialize 0 to all the elements. Yes, we can also use C libraries in C++. As C++ is already built on top of C, so we can use C libraries in C++ as well, Mansi. तो अभी आगे हम देखते हैं. अब हमने क्या किया, हमने एक for loop लगाया int I is equal to 0 से लेके हमारा int I is less than n तक, और हमने I प्लस प्लस कर दिया. ठीक है, अब हमने I को प्लस प्लस कर दिया. अब हमारे ये क्या कर रहा है, वी आर आइटरेटिंग ओवर द ARR एरे. ठीक है, इफ अब हमने क्या किया, टेस्ट ARR में टेस्ट ARR के अंदर हम गए. अब टेस्ट ARR के अंदर हम कहाँ गए, इन टेस्ट ARR एट पोजीशन ARR ऑफ I एंड वी हैव इंक्रीज्ड इट. ठीक है, नाउ अब ये लाइन का मतलब किसको समझ में आ गया, इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन अबाउट दिस लाइन, इज एवरीवन क्लियर अबाउट दिस लाइन. टेस्ट ARR का ARR ith element we have increased it. Is this line clear? Please let confirm it in the chat section. Is this line clear to everyone? That test ARR के अंदर ARI I plus. Okay, Umang is clear with the line. If Mansi is not clear, okay. Let me show you something. We are incrementing, but what we are incrementing first, that is an issue. ARRI will access the element at ARR. ARRI will access the element at ith index. Okay, so if there is an let me consider this array. अब मेरे पास ये एक array था ARR के अंदर. मैं एक एग्जांपल ले रहा हूँ. ARRI को जब मैं एक्सेस करूंगा तो इट विल एक्सेस 5. अब यहाँ पे आ गया 5, तो टेस्ट ARR का 5th इंडेक्स को आई एम इंक्रीजिंग. ठीक है, अब जब मैं यहाँ पे से इस एलिमेंट को एक्सेस कर रहा हूँ तो टेस्ट ARR का 7th एलिमेंट इज इंक्रीमेंटिंग बाय 1, देन फर्स्ट इंडेक्स इज इंक्रीमेंटिंग बाय 1, देन 9th इंडेक्स इज इंक्रीमेंटिंग बाय 1, देन 5th इंडेक्स इज इंक्रीमेंटिंग बाय 1, देन सेकंड, देन फोर्थ. तो दिस इज हैपनिंग. अब इसको करके हमको क्या बेनिफिट मिलेगा, चलो वो भी देखते हैं. ठीक है, अब हमने इसको इंक्रीमेंट तो कर दिया. अब इससे पहले हमने एक काम करते हैं, फॉर तो एक्ट इन ARR. आई थिंक इस सिंटैक्स से सब क्लियर होंगे. ये एक लूप था, फॉर लूप का जो हमने सिंटैक्स बताया था. अब ये सिंटैक्स का हम थोड़ा बेनिफिट उठाते हैं एंड वी आर प्रिंटिंग ऑल एलिमेंट्स फ्रॉम टेस्ट ARR एंड वी आर गिविंग सम स्पेस आफ्टर. ठीक है, अब हमने सारे के सारे एलिमेंट्स प्रिंट करे। चलो सारे नहीं करते, एक काम करते हैं हम, ये तो सारे के सारे एलिमेंट्स प्रिंट करने के लिए हो जाएगा, हम थोड़े एलिमेंट्स प्रिंट कर देते हैं। और एंड आई इक्वल टू 0, आई इज लेस देन 20, क्योंकि हमने 20 से बड़ा कोई एलिमेंट ही सप्लाई नहीं किया है। तो लेट अस सी द चेंज हियर। हम क्या करते हैं, ए आर आर और आई को प्रिंट कर देते हैं यहाँ पे। ठीक है, अब हमने ए आर आर आई को 20 एलिमेंट को हमने प्रिंट कर दिया। लेट अस सी कि उस 20 एलिमेंट्स में है क्या। Yes, it will increment by 1 every element of array. Yes, right. Pragati, you are completely right. I am entering 1 element of array. Okay, so it was how it is getting some of the garbage values. How it is getting garbage values. It's not give any of the garbage values. Okay. I have to print test error. I have to print test error. I printed the wrong array. C plus 0, 3. And so all the elements are 0, and why it is printing?
Shazit sir, you have,
Yes, yes.
during initialization, you have used a
Okay.
comma. That is why it is
No,
skipping it.
I have printed it. Yeah, I after using the comma, all the further values will be okay. Let me remove the comma as well. But even if I use this only, all the values will be initialized to 0. And the first element was because I was printing the int max here, so that was not an issue. And now, अब हमने क्या किया, हमने ये एरे को कर दिया। नाउ लेट अस प्रिंट एरे एज वेल, और हम देखें तो कि एरे में हमने किया क्या है। हम एक काम करते हैं, यहीं पे एक सी आउट लगा देते हैं साथ में, सी आउट ए आर आर आई। जैसे ही वो इनपुट ले रहा है वैसे ही वो उसको प्रिंट भी करता रहेगा। चलो हटा ही दो, अलग से ही प्रिंट कर देते हैं, सो दैट इट विल नॉट बी कंफ्यूजिंग फॉर यू। और तो एक्स टू ए आर आर and we are see out text and space and see out and else। अब हम एरे को देखते हैं, एरे में क्या था और हमारे उसमें क्या था, हमारे प्रोग्राम में क्या था। ठीक है, अभी हमने एक एरे क्रिएट किया है और आई एम एंटरिंग द सेम नंबर्स एज डिफाइंड हियर, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7। देयर आर 7 नंबर्स। ठीक है, अब 5 7 1 9 5 2 4। अब 5719524 तो आ गया मेरा, और मेरा एरे था डेट वाज इनिशियलाइज्ड विद 0। बट जब मैंने इसको इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया, नाउ लेट अस प्रिंट, जब मैंने इसको इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया, अब हम टेस्ट एआरआर को फिर से हम देखते हैं। लेट अस सी टेस्ट एआरआर अगेन, और हम देखते हैं कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस हियर आफ्टर प्रिंटिंग द, आफ्टर प्रोसीडिंग विद टेस्ट एआरआर। एक मैं एंडल और लगाऊंगा। अब लेट अस सी द डिफरेंस, कि अब डिफरेंस क्या आएगा हमारे इनपुट में। and .a.txt. I am entering 7 elements again, 5 7 1 9 5 2 4। तो दिस इज द डिफरेंस। अब हमने क्या किया, हमारा फर्स्ट एलिमेंट बढ़ गया, सेकंड भी बढ़ गया, बट थर्ड हमारा 0 है। अभी इसको तो हम कंसिडर ही नहीं करेंगे बिकॉज एरे का फर्स्ट एलिमेंट होता है 0। अब हम 0 को कंसिडर ही नहीं करेंगे, वी विल रन द लूप फ्रॉम 1, क्योंकि हमको क्या करना है, हमको वी हैव टू फाइंड द स्मॉलेस्ट पॉजिटिव नंबर एंड 0 इज नाइदर पॉजिटिव नॉर नेगेटिव। ठीक है, तो वी विल रन द एरे फ्रॉम 1। अब मेरे को 1 से हम रन करना स्टार्ट करेंगे एंड वेन एवर आई गेट 0, तो मतलब वो वाले इंडेक्स, जो वो वाला इंडेक्स है, दैट नंबर इज द स्मॉलेस्ट पॉजिटिव मिसिंग नंबर फ्रॉम द एरे। अब ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट किसको समझ में आएगा कि जो मिसिंग, जो 0 है वो स्मॉलेस्ट मिसिंग नंबर है एरे से, क्योंकि ये इंडेक्स 1 था, इंडेक्स 1 वाज प्रेजेंट, इंडेक्स 1 पे 1 था, प्रेजेंट था, इंडेक्स 2 पे 2 था, 2 भी एरे में प्रेजेंट है, इंडेक्स 3 0, 0 है तो एरे में कुछ भी प्रेजेंट ऐसा नहीं है, देन इट इज 2, मतलब इट इज 1, तो 4 इज प्रेजेंट हियर एंड 5 पे 2 है, मतलब 5 दो बार प्रेजेंट है एरे में, 6 पे फिर से 0 है तो 6 इज नॉट प्रेजेंट इन द एरे, 7 पे 1 है तो 7 is present and I am initializing it with a greater number because array can have any number of elements, so it will be same for any number of elements that are present in the array। तो अब हमको क्या करना है, आफ्टर ऑल अब हम इन सारों को हटा देते हैं, क्योंकि ये मैंने आपको देखने के लिए बताया था कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। so I am not printing the array, I am not printing the test array again and I am not printing it again। अब हम सिंपल एक फॉर लूप यूज करेंगे, फॉर इन I equal to 1 and I is less than n and I plus 2। ठीक है, अब हमने ये किया as soon as if, अब हमने क्या करा, टेस्ट टेस्ट arr का ith एलिमेंट as soon as it is 0 we will see out I is the is the smallest positive missing number and I will quit the program here by using the exit function, or I can also use the return function here as well, return 0 to terminate my program, or we can also use break to terminate the for loop, or I can terminate the program as well, so it depends on you how you are choosing to do it। तो अब हम देखते हैं कि is it working or not। This is the last topic, yes, this is the last topic for today। Sarthak, you can share the attendance form, till then I am compiling the program and showing them the output। तो अब इसको कंपाइल करके हम देखते हैं व्हाट इज द स्मॉलेस्ट मिसिंग नंबर।
Okay, I am sharing that.
तो अब हम स्मॉलेस्ट मिसिंग नंबर हमने देखा, हमने फिर सेम एलिमेंट्स डाला 7 5 7 1 9 5 2 4। so 3 is the smallest positive missing number। Yes, Vicky, we are sharing the attendance form to get the attendance for today's session and ये था हमारा smallest positive missing number निकालने का, and you can see we have not nested any of the for loop here, we have not nested any of the for loops, so the time complexity will be order of n here।
I think I have shared the attendance form, guys. Please look after it. If it is working fine or not, someone can ping me if it is working.
Yes, the attendance link is working fine।
Guys, those who are facing any issue with the code, so we will share the code, as well as this video will be on the YouTube only. Get see this video once again, because at once you can't able to understand the whole code. So it's my suggestion, please see the video once again. Okay,
And
if
Mansi,
there
I am
any
explaining the code once again as well, so no need to worry about that। तो अब इस कोड को देखते हैं हम एक बार, बेसिक 5 in 2 to 3 minutes let us try to understand the code what it is doing। सबसे पहले तो हमने एक एरे इनिशियलाइज, एक एरे क्रिएट कर दिया, इट इज a user defined array, so we are asking the input from the user। तो एरे इनिशियलाइज करने के बाद we have taken a greater array, हमने एक बड़ा सारा एरे ले लिया टेस्ट arr which is of a great size। अब हमने इस एरे को 0 से इनिशियलाइज कर दिया, वी हैव इनिशियलाइज द एरे विद 0 फॉर ऑल द एलिमेंट्स। अब हमारा एरे 0 का था, whenever we are encountering any of the number in array, we are increasing the index by 1. We are increasing by using the plus plus operator. अब जो भी नंबर एरे में आया उसके रिस्पेक्टिवली जो हमारा इंडेक्स है टेस्ट एआरआर में दैट हैज इंक्रीज, और जो नंबर एरे में नहीं आया उसका इंडेक्स दैट विल बी 0 टिल द एंड. तो अब हमने देखना है, हमने इंक्रीज कर दिया सारे एलिमेंट्स का इंडेक्स दैट आर प्रेजेंट इन द एरे. अब हमने क्या किया, वी हैव कंपेयर्ड. अब ये टेस्ट एआरआर हमारे उसमें आया था तो हमने इसको देखा हाउ विल वी चेक. अगर कोई एलिमेंट 0 है क्योंकि वो एरे में आया ही नहीं, तो हम उसको पता चल जाएगा हमको कि द एलिमेंट इज टेस्ट दैट इज 0, और हम उसको प्रिंट करवा देंगे कि इट इज द स्मॉलेस्ट पॉजिटिव नंबर दैट इज मिसिंग. फॉर एग्जांपल लेट मी कंपाइल इट अगेन, और अब मैं कुछ और डालता हूँ. Let me enter 15 elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. So what will happen? Okay, 1 is the smallest positive number. Oh, why it is saying that 1 should be increment as ARR of I. Okay. Yes, it should work from 0. Sorry, there was some issue. Let me open it. I have not compiled it again. So 13 is the smallest positive number which was missing from the array. I have changed it to 1 to show the output like it was 1 here. So can you show the whole code? Okay. Pragati, I am showing the whole code. You can see it and review it. And if you are facing any issues in the code, you can ping here as well or ping on the WhatsApp group. So feel free to ask your doubts regarding the code if you have any. So this is the whole code which is present for the program. You can see it. Also, Sarthak, if you have any announcement to make, you can make it. And guys, tomorrow we have a mentor talk with Nikita ma'am who is from Red Hat. So please join in that at 5 p.m. And Sarthak, over to you now.
Guys, may I close the attendance form? Guys, 10.1. Those who have attended the session at 5 to 6, we will share the attendance. We had shared the attendance form for that. But after the session, I will put them to the description till 9 o'clock. You can fill that particular attendance form. Uh,
I won't be able to join the session. Sarthak, there is a doubt that Mansi will not be able to join the session tomorrow.
what we can say, guys, this is only for you guys. This is not for us. We have some great. Okay, so if you are able to join, do join that. Okay, it will help you. It will help you out, in your college career as well. Okay. And guys, if you have any doubt, you can ask. We are, open for doubt now. Any doubt regarding this particular series, this particular, session? If you anyone have any doubt, so please ask. And guys, do like the stream if you can. It will be really grateful.
Yes, Kishore, after the mentor talk from 6 to 7, we will have a class as well.
This session will be on YouTube only. YouTube only we will. Attendance मैंने share कर दी है. Please check in the chat box. Attendance share कर दी है.
Sarthak, please share
Maximum.
the attendance again.
हाँ, yes. Every session have attendance. तो देख लेना यार. If you can attend, do attend. ठीक है. Now, any doubt? मतलब कुछ भी doubt हो regarding anything you can ask. वरना तो we are happy to. ठीक है. ठीक है यार. और कुछ हो तो पूछ लेना. And guys, Telegram and again WhatsApp is group is open for you all, है ना? So you can join that.
So there's one doubt, I guess, from Anuj, maximum sum subarray problem. Anuj, it is a dynamic programming, based, not dynamic, yeah, in dynamic programming and also in divide and conquer method. You can Google about it. There's an algorithm called Cadence algorithm, if I'm not wrong.
And for that,
Or in
the
DSA, we'll also solve it using,
yes, yes.
yeah, during
In
this session.
DSA series, we will solve that. That is not the basic C++. We are trying to cover basic C++ here. We will have a DSA series as well, so you can see the problems in that for the DSA part. Any doubts? Any other doubts?
If
Sir, when are
anyone,
you going to conduct a session on GitHub? After the C++ series, we will conduct a session on GitHub. As we have some of the
because
less time for the C++ series, so we will first continue with the C++ series, and then we will conduct a session on GitHub as well.
as guys, many of you are not joining this stream for C++ as well. So it will be a burden if we conduct another session. So after that, we will surely conduct our session for you guys. Any other
Yes,
doubt, guys?
Dishant, we will share the code as soon as possible. And Mansi, हाँ कल class भी है. Classes will never stop till 15th. Classes will be there till 15th every day.
Every day we have class. Okay. 6 to 7:30 we have class, and 5 to 6 we have a mentor talk. Both the class as well as the mentor talk have the attendance. ओके एंड फ्रॉम टुमारो फिर पैटर्न चेंज करेंगे गाइस. नहीं होगा कि लास्ट में अटेंडेंस देंगे, ठीक है, जैसे अभी देते हैं. सम ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स आर ज्वाइनिंग लेट, है ना, तो देखते हैं. एंड आई थिंक यू ऑल आर familiar with C प्लस प्लस कॉन्सेप्ट्स, है ना. तो लेट्स सी व्हाट वी कैन डू, है ना. कोड तो यार एक गिटहब की रेपो दे रखी है, वहां पे भी अपडेट होता रहता है. देन आज भी एक सेशन के बाद एक नोट्स और जो रेपो लिंक होंगे वो आपको प्रोवाइड कर दूंगा
वो शेयर हो
इन
जाएंगे.
योर ग्रुप्स. और कुछ डाउट कोड से अलग हटके अगर किसी के पास कुछ भी डाउट, कोई अलग डाउट, ठीक है गाइस. एंड गाइस, tomorrow you will get a notification on your WhatsApp group for dot question mark is expanding their team, guys. So we would love if anyone want to join our team. Okay, for those who will join our team, there will be some goodies and some extra mentor support from our side. Okay, we will teach them some advanced domains which are not taught in the uh, college itself. तो अगर जो भी ज्वाइन करना चाहे, पिंग मी अप एंड पिंग टू मी, क्षितिज और दिव्यसोम. वी विल हैव अ मीट विद. प्रोजेक्ट कब स्टार्ट होगा?
Project
लेट्स
कब start? Project will start after the concept of C++ are completed. They will be completed till around 13th or 14th, and we will have a 1 or 2 day project as well. So no need to worry about the project. So that they will be great project, and you can add that project in your resume.
एक बार बेसिक खत्म करते हैं, देन विल स्टार्ट विद दिस. ठीक है. अब नोट्स नोट्स रहेगा यार, बता तो दिया. कल तक आपके पास नोट्स वगैरह सब आ जाएंगे, नोट्स की टेंशन ना लो. ठीक है. ओनली
Mansi, please do not comment that if you want to join in the chat section, please ping me or Sarthak or Divyasom regarding it, and we will surely help you out.
ठीक है. और अनाउंस कोडिंग इवेंट यार 20 तारीख का शेड्यूल हो चुका है. एक दो दिन में, एक दो दिन दो, देन वी विल अनाउंस दैट टू. ठीक है. एक बार बेसिक खत्म हो जाए. बेसिक भी हमने ऑलमोस्ट खत्म कर दिया है, अब तो थोड़ा अच्छे कॉन्सेप्ट पे चले गए तो करेंगे. सर विच प्रोजेक्ट वी
यार
आर
आज
गोइंग टू
क्विज
डेवलप?
नाइट हो नहीं पा रही है बिकॉज आज हमने एक लंबा सेशन ले लिया है. तो क्विज नाइट विल हैपन ऑन वेडनेसडे और थर्सडे. वी विल इन्फॉर्म दैट टू यू after on the day the session is ending. It is before Saturday, so we will have a quiz night on 15th, and after that on 20th we are going to have a quiz coding competition as well.
ठीक है. एंड होपफुली आज नाइट में एक हम डाउट सेशन रखे. जिसको भी कोई भी डाउट हो रिगार्डिंग एनी डोमेन, एनी टेक्नोलॉजी, डोमेन टेक्नोलॉजी को भी छोड़ के किसी को डाउट हो, पर्सनल डाउट हो, लेट्स, है ना, तो दे कैन आस्क. दीक्षांत, डोंट स्पैम. एक बार मैसेज भेज दो तो बार बार एक सिंगल मैसेज मत भेजो करो. वी आर एबल टू सी अ सिंगल मैसेज. ठीक है गाइस. तो आज शाम को हो सकता है हम एक डाउट सेशन रखें. जिसको भी डाउट हो regarding any technology, they can join. This is Ask Me
And
Anything
not
session for us.
regarding only C++,
Okay.
you can ask your doubts regarding any of the technologies, any of the domains, and feel free to ask anything to us.
if you want any guidance ki how we need to pursue that particular domain, how we need to pursue it, so you can
Shubham, Kabir, the
join that.
project which we are going to develop is not finalized as of now. We will finalize the project based on the skills, and we will update you very soon with the project. ये प्रोजेक्ट के लिए क्वेश्चन
AML
कहाँ
CCVT में से कौन
प्रैक्टिस
सा
के लिए
जो
क्वेश्चन कहाँ से करें अनुपम प्रैक्टिस
आज
क्वेश्चन विल बी शेयर्ड to you by Tuesday. The practice
ठीक है
question will
हाँ
also be shared. The practice question set.
हाँ उनका एक PDF आपको शेयर कर दिया जाएगा, our team is making at the back end, तो वो शेयर कर देंगे आपको आज रात तक, तो ठीक है। समीर, दिस क्वेश्चन यू विल आस्क ऑन टुडेज, आज ईव में एक हम रखेंगे, है ना, आस्क मी एनीथिंग सेशन, तो आप वहाँ पे जाके पूछ सकते हो, ठीक है। और कुछ गाइस, आई थिंक वी आर एंड अप विद दिस, मतलब ठीक है, कैन वी एंड द सीरीज?
Yeah,
Yes, we can end the
yes,
series.
there are no doubts.
9 o'clock रखते हैं यार, अगर 9 o'clock सब फ्री होता है, 9 o'clock रखे। आस्क मी एनीथिंग सेशन है, कोई अटेंडेंस नहीं होगी, दोज हु वांट टू ज्वाइन, दे कैन हैव अ डाउट सेशन, ठीक है, कोई अटेंडेंस नहीं होगी, तो 9 o'clock रख लेते हैं, है ना।
Yes,
अटेंडेंस नहीं, सिर्फ एक वर्चुअल सेशन होगा जहाँ पे आप और हम बात करेंगे, गूगल मीट पे सेशन होगा, जैसे उस दिन रखा था, ठीक है, where we talk about how we can pursue with CCBT, AML, DevOps, cloud, various technologies, तो कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, ठीक है। I will call some of the mentor from CCBT, I will call some of the mentor from those who are doing good in AIML, DevOps, cloud, तो वहाँ पे उनके साथ एक सेशन रख लेते हैं, and we'll
and
have a
कल
fun.
का सेशन एक बहुत important सेशन है if you are a college fresher or if you are a fourth year student or even if you are a pass out. तो जो कल का सेशन है about personal branding, that is very important to you. You will get to know the importance of personal branding. So join that session as well, and you will get
ठीक
to
है,
know a lot of the
हाँ,
great insights about the industry as
एंड
well.
एंड जो भी अटेंड करेगा उनके लिए सर्टिफिकेट्स अलग है उस सेशन के, तो प्लीज अटेंड कर लेना, अच्छा लगता है। एंड ठीक है गाइस, आपके लिए सेशन करे जा रहे हैं, तो इफ यू फील कि सेशन वर्ती है, तो डू शेयर दिस सेशन एज वेल, ठीक है गाइस, थैंक यू, बाय
एंड
बाय,
एक
सी
चीज
यू।
और कि आज
अच्छा,
जितने भी सेशंस हैं, जितने भी लोग हैं सेशन में और जो भी कल के सेशन में आना चाहे, तो आई एम गिविंग अपॉर्चुनिटी टू वन ऑफ द लर्नर। तो जो भी इंटरेस्टेड हो कल के सेशन में आने के लिए, प्लीज पिंग मी एंड आई विल सिलेक्ट वन ऑफ द लर्नर एट रैंडम, और he or she will get to be in the session. Like there were some of the learners in the session with Devesh sir, so you will also get to be in the session with Nikita ma'am.
ठीक है, तो लेट्स एंड दिस स्ट्रीम ओवर हियर ओनली। थैंक यू एवरीवन, बाय बाय, सी या टिल।
Guys.
Thank you, thank you.